My beloved, there is no coincidence that you have been drawn here. Every word you are about to absorb has been spoken specifically for you. Within these lines, expect to find truths that reach deeper than your usual encouragements and richer than what this world can offer you. I want you to sense that something sacred is unfolding. A window is opening to a level of comfort, restoration, and hope you may have only dreamed of. Imagine for a moment what would become of your days and your nights if you truly embraced my presence. What if, right now, you allowed my voice to pierce through the noise and the ache, cutting through whatever discouragement or heaviness has weighed on you for too long? Let me assure you, the stakes are real. If you do not listen, if your heart closes again as it has in the past, the pain could linger, cycles might repeat, and you might miss out on the breakthrough and warmth I am so ready to pour into your life. But this message, this direct word from me, is not a vague promise. You are not receiving another generic sermon, but rather a living breath of my spirit spoken directly into your story, a loving, intimate devotion from your Creator to you. Allow yourself to rest in that, and let the journey begin. Night after night I have watched over you, counting every tear that slipped quietly onto your pillow as you pressed on through darkness and confusion. Those hours you thought no one noticed, those battles behind closed doors, every single moment mattered to me. Not one sigh, not one ache of your heart has been wasted or unseen. I am here to promise you that for every night you spent wrestling and weeping, for each time pain tried to define you, I am bringing a reward that will heal and transform. Feel my assurance as I draw near, covering you with my love and protection, not because you managed to appear strong, but because you allowed your heart to remain gentle, open, and trusting even in your brokenness. All those silent tears, every cry you suppressed out of fear or shame, I have carried close to my heart. You have navigated situations that wounded and disappointed you deeply, yet somehow you continued to hope and to trust, even when hope itself seemed frail. That is a beauty I cherish in you. Others may have tried to exploit your kindness and simplicity, twisting your trust for their own gain. False words and empty promises may have left their mark, but I am not like those who have hurt you. Today, I declare freedom over you. Every damaging influence, every web of manipulation is being cut away now by the power of my love and sacrifice. The sense of guilt and unworthiness that yoke others tried to place around your neck no longer has authority over your spirit. My beloved, you are not meant to serve the expectations or judgments of those who thrive on your exhaustion. Instead, I have come to wash your wounds with mercy and to break every chain meant to keep you bound. As you read these words, feel my healing oil pouring into your soul, softening hardened places and restoring tenderness where pain once lived. Allow my holy presence to cleanse, lifting from you the weight of every mistake and regret. When I look at you, I see someone truly good, someone who loves, who cares, who respects. That is who you are to me. There are those who lost their way, who no longer listen to the whisperings of their conscience, who trample on the dignity of others for selfish gain. They may seem wise in their deceit or popular with their empty flattery, but their influence over you is ending now. I am forming a shield around you so you can walk forward with freedom, joy, and a new confidence that cannot be taken from you. You will notice the difference within as you choose to allow my spirit to fill you. A divine joy will begin to bloom in you, pushing away the heaviness you carried for so long. With every breath, you will sense strength rising to help you turn from unhealthy attachments and let go of people or patterns that only borrowed from your spirit and left you depleted. You no longer need to chase the approval of those who mask their intentions and say they love you while holding on to duplicity, because my love will surround and keep you secure. Pay attention to the peace settling in your heart, for it is an unmistakable sign from me. Know with certainty that your sadness or inner struggles are not a punishment from my hand. Many are tempted to think trials arrive because I have turned away or grown angry, but it is not so. My beloved child, my arms are open, always extended toward you, never withdrawn in condemnation. Remember the sacrifice I made, giving everything in love so that you might have not a life of sorrow, but a life abundant and eternal. I have never desired your torment, but always your healing. My deepest longing is not for you to feel fear or guilt, but for you to dwell in the confidence of my love and my plans for your good. I did not come to bring accusations or to pile burdens higher, but to rescue and to redeem, surrounding you in a promise that will not fail. In every moment when you feel the shadows pressing in, when you wonder if you will ever be whole or joyful again, hold to the truth that my presence is there to weave new light into your soul. I am the one who bends down to lift you up, breathing new faith and courage where defeat seemed certain. Even now, I am rekindling hope, blowing gently upon the embers within you until a flame begins to flicker with warmth once more. Your fears cannot remain where my love has entered. You are more deeply known than you have ever realized. Before a word is on your tongue, or even as doubts try to swirl within, I see you. I understand your vulnerabilities, your haunted memories, your quiet worries at night, but I have never left your side, and I never will. I strengthen you daily through every unseen trial. I am sustaining you when your own resolve falters. Every prayer, every whispered plea for help, I am attentive to. I do not judge you as the world does or as you sometimes judge yourself. I approach you now not to point out where you failed, but to lift you into victory, walking with you, guiding and empowering you to stand tall and walk with released shoulders, knowing you are mine and that your life story holds more value than you can yet understand. As you yield your burdens to me, as you trust me with your tangled feelings and uncertain plans, I am at work in your heart, your mind, your spirit, and every detail of your journey. You do not walk an unknown road alone. The wisdom you have needed, the ability to rise each day and honor your own and your family's dignity, I am bestowing that on you. You need not worry about the path ahead, for I am revealing who you truly are and what you are capable of through my design. Your gifts, your unique talents, and every ounce of love you pour out, they are seeds I have planted and am now cultivating in you. Believe it. You were fashioned for triumph, not for defeat, and I am the guarantee that you will overcome. So let your confidence take root, not in yourself alone, but in me, and you will not be moved. You may not always feel prepared, sometimes doubting if you are ready to accept blessing or responsibility, but in my eyes, your faith, even when small, is mighty. Do not disqualify yourself because of your past. Do not accept the accusations of others who cannot see the grace I have lavished on you. If I have declared you forgiven, if you have sought me with sincerity, what others say is powerless against the promise I have made over your life. Their judgment withers in the light of my mercy. You are on a road that advances, and nobody's resistance can keep you from the future I am opening for you, unless you allow it. So I urge you gently, don't cling to bonds that pull you backward, to voices that drown out hope and try to re-anchor you in shame. I call you by name every day, inviting you to come near so I can strengthen you again and again for whatever lies ahead. My spirit meets you with power whenever you take a moment to yield your heart, to pray, to surrender your will, and to offer up even a tired or faltering faith. This is the ground where miracles spring, where sorrow turns to new joy. Open your arms and your home. Make space for the abundant blessing I am bringing, and see the transformation not just in you, but in all those you love. Release every heavy thought, every anxiety, every old fear into my hands right now. You have nothing to gain by clutching them any longer. My voice is not the voice of despair or worry. It is the voice of a loving Father who delights in your freedom and rejoices in every step you take toward trust. When you are tempted by discouragement, choose to listen to my words of love over the shouts of doubt. I have proved myself faithful time and again. If you dare to believe, you will witness the gates of favor swing wide before you. You are my own, and my own will never remain in darkness. My spirit surrounds you, restoring hope wherever you travel. There is purpose in every moment you have been brought here and now, for I have been waiting to gather you into my arms and call you blessed and favored. You have begun to sense that you stand at the threshold of something beyond the noise of ordinary days, a truth that calls to you by name. In this quiet moment, I wish for your heart to know certainty, to feel the gentle tide of my presence pressing in around your doubts and fears. Your longing, the ache for meaning and safety, is not lost on me. Even now, I draw close, not as a distant dream, but as a living hope that sees each fiber of your being. I invite you to linger here, listening deeper than before, for a revelation that will not merely decorate your mind, but will stir the core of your being awake. As every heartbeat echoes in the secret places of your soul, I remind you that your life is not random, not abandoned to chance or silence. I have known you before your first breath, and in every unseen moment since. When you weary of striving, when disappointment begins to harden the gentle places within, I want you to remember that I see beyond your anxieties. I watch you try, falter, begin again. I collect every tear, for your tears are precious to me. None falls to the ground without my knowing. Feel the safety in that knowledge. You are not forgotten or overlooked. In the tapestry of existence, your thread is beloved, not for your perfection, but for your presence. It is enough that you are here. Do not rush past the invitation I extend now, to settle, to be known, to let yourself be loved without apology or pretense. Within these words, a sanctuary forms a place where your suffering meets. My tenderness and your deepest questions are not brushed aside, but welcomed as the starting point for all that will unfold. You may sense the battle between hope and despair, between striving and surrender. I do not chastise you for these struggles, nor am I surprised by them. I embrace you as you are, in your uncertainty and in your belief. Even in the places where you hide or recoil from the light, my gaze remains kind and unwavering, offering not condemnation but the promise of healing. I reach across the distance you feel, refusing to let your shame or disappointment build walls between us. Here, my voice does not accuse, it restores. I know how lonely a journey can feel, and so, my word arrives like water in the desert, not just for today, but for the season you are walking through. Do not fear vulnerability here. Your honesty is what I cherish most. Every fear spoken, every doubt revealed, becomes a doorway to new grace. I want you to consider that nothing you carry need disqualify you from this encounter. It is not your strength that brings you near me, but my relentless desire to draw near to you. My hands are steady, opening wide to receive every burden you release. In return, I offer the peace that your heart has searched for in so many lesser places. Trust that I am as close as your next breath, even when you find it hard to believe. The storms that rage within you are not too wild for my calming word. The questions that haunt you are not too complex for my gentle understanding. I am patient as you wrestle, faithful as you wander, and I never grow weary of loving you. Hear me now, your story is not over, and your future is never locked beyond the reach of renewal. Though you do not know what tomorrow holds, I hold you, and that is enough. Allow my love to be the firm ground beneath your feet when all else feels uncertain. My purpose for you endures through every change, every heartbreak, every unexpected turn. I do not waste pain. I gather it, transform it, and use it as a seed for new joy. Even the parts of your heart you hide away, thinking they are disqualified or broken, are precious to me. I see their beauty, yes, even as they heal. Sit quietly in this assurance. My delight in you is unwavering. With every flaw, with every honest question, I call you chosen. Your weaknesses are familiar to me, but they do not define you. I see potential where you see shortcomings. I see hope where you see disappointment. I work quietly in the background of your days, weaving goodness you cannot yet perceive. The transformation I promise does not rely on sudden perfection, but on the steady presence of my love, healing and reshaping your life from the inside out. Just as a seed must surrender to darkness before it bursts into bloom, so too must your soul sometimes rest in uncertainty before the fullness of my purpose comes to light. I urge you not to count yourself out, not to assume you have wandered too far. My invitations are never revoked. Even now, I restore what you feel has been lost: faith, courage, joy. The places of your life that feel dry and barren are where I most love to work wonders. Set aside the pressure to perform for me. Simply let yourself be deeply seen. I do not measure you against anyone else, nor do I grow impatient with your progress. In every stumble I offer grace. In every weary step I supply strength. You will find that I am never disappointed in your need for me. In fact, it is your very need that opens the way for my abundance. Let your heart trust just for now that you are accepted, not for your performance, not because you have everything figured out, but because I have chosen you, because I see you as you are. Rest here in quiet assurance as I speak promise over your life, a promise that endures beyond mood, circumstance, or fear. My love is your anchor, your shield, your unshakable foundation. In the spaces between questions and answers, between action and stillness, my voice is always speaking hope. Even when you cannot feel me, I am working in unseen ways, preparing good things for you. Your openness now is the soil for every miracle yet to come. In the stillness where you find yourself, perhaps after seasons of noise and distraction, I invite you to discover what I have hidden for you beneath the surface. Treasures waiting to be uncovered, not in the reach of your hands, but in the quiet of your surrendered heart. My presence is the shelter you long for, yet so often you search for shelter in things that fade. Let me be your rest. If you have walked through disappointment or felt that your best efforts returned emptiness, know that I am not indifferent to your pain. Every weary sigh, every silent tear, every longing you conceal from others is known to me with a compassion deeper than any river, wider than any horizon your eyes can see. There is no shame in your fatigue, only my gentle invitation to come and lean on my strength. Your limits are not your failure. They are the doorway to my sufficiency. When you feel pressed on every side, tempted to withdraw or to fight without rest, remember that you are not meant to endure alone. I have shaped you with a capacity for both endurance and surrender, a paradox that human wisdom cannot resolve, but which my spirit understands perfectly. Where you have tried to carry burdens alone, bring them to me. Each weight you relinquish, I transform. What seems insurmountable to you is but morning dew to me, soon to vanish in the warmth of my embrace. You are not defined by what overwhelms you, but by my power lifting you up when you choose to reach out, even if only with the smallest cry of hope. If fear stalks you in the night or uncertainty shadows your steps, do not believe the lie that you have been abandoned. I have promised myself to you, as near as your own breath. Though my ways are beyond your immediate understanding, I am weaving your story into something beautiful if you will trust me with the untidy threads. Faith is not the absence of questions, but the courage to bring your doubts to me, open-hearted, believing I am patient enough to receive you fully. Do not wait for perfect faith before you draw near. Even imperfect trust, offered sincerely, is a bond I will not break. In the trembling of your uncertainty, I am steady for you. When the path becomes unclear, when you lose your sense of direction, I remain your constant. Do not measure the journey by what you can calculate or control, but by the certainty that I walk beside you. It is not in your striving that you find clarity, but in your yielding to me, not a surrender of hope, but a surrender of your need to always know what comes next. Let me lead, step by step, for I see beyond every turn and hold the means to supply every need, even before you ask. My love for you is not fragile. It is not given or taken away by your success or failure. It is fixed, unyielding, and faithful, drawing you into safety even when you resist it out of fear you are too broken to belong. I delight in you not in some future perfected version, but in the very rawness of your journey, where honesty meets grace. When you hide your pain, you close the door I long to walk through, that I may sit with you in your struggle, not as a guest, but as the one who bears your burdens with you. I have not come to condemn your struggle, but to walk with you in it. If you have felt unworthy of love, or weighed yourself constantly against the achievements of others, remember, those are not my measures. I see you as unique, wonderfully made, inherently valuable, not because of what you can do for me, but because you are mine. Each day you wake, my mercies flow afresh, not as a limited supply you must ration, but overflowing grace for each moment. You are not forgotten in the silence. You are seen and held, even when your circumstances seem to press out all signs of hope. Breathe deeply now, as if you are inhaling the very peace I place within reach. Do not despise the small moments of relief or joy. I am present in the laughter as much as in your tears. Let go of the belief that you must always earn your place with me. You have my invitation, not because of your perfection, but because of my promise. As you draw near, I do not keep a record of your failures, but instead rejoice over each step closer to my heart. This is not because I ignore truth, but because my truth is always entwined with mercy. Accept this mercy now, even when it seems more than you deserve. Do you wonder sometimes if your voice matters in the universe's vast design? I tell you, every prayer, unspoken or whispered, every longing for healing, every cry for wisdom, rises to me. I am not weary of your need. In fact, I delight in responding to you, not always with the answers you expect, but always with what is best for your growth and peace. Even in silence, I am at work, gathering your requests into redemption and planting seeds that will bear fruit in time. Do not give up as you wait. Do not mistake my patience for your prayers going unheard. Rest in the knowledge that I am tender with your history. The wounds that persist, the memories that still sting, are all known to me not as failures to be forgotten, but as sacred places where my healing can reach you most deeply. When you present your brokenness, I cover it with honor. I do not look away from what is painful. Instead, I press in, transforming scars into stories of restoration. What you hide in shame, I cloak with dignity. Where you feel stuck in the patterns of yesterday, cling to the promise that nothing is wasted, not even your regrets. In the midst of your waiting, I am shaping you. Waiting is not empty time. It is fertile ground for faith. You may not always understand why delays come or doors seem closed, but know that I use seasons of waiting to strengthen your roots, so you are not swept away when storms arise. I do not withhold good from you without reason, for I am the good shepherd who leads you along paths with wisdom and care. If you will trust me with your impatience, I will show you beauty unfolding in unexpected places. You are not alone in your struggle to believe. Doubt and faith often walk together, and I do not despise your wrestling. I cherish your honesty, your desire to understand, your wrestling with the hard questions. Bring those questions to me, for I am neither threatened by your uncertainties nor offended by your longing for clarity. In your search for truth, remain open to my gentle guidance, attentive to the quiet ways I speak through the comfort of a friend, the light of a new morning, the words that stir hope when it seems lost. Let my presence be your assurance in every circumstance. As you continue, let go of what you cannot control and rest in the certainty that I am with you. I am steadfast, unmoved by your circumstances, and forever invested in your becoming. Even as you step deeper into this journey I am unfolding before you, let your heart settle into the knowledge that I delight in revealing myself step by step. The moments in which you feel uncertainty pressing at the edges of your mind are the very moments where my invitation becomes most tender, an invitation to trust me when your sight is dim, to lean in when answers seem distant. I hold your days within my timeless hand, shaping every detail out of love. When you wake each morning, unsure of what awaits, remember that your life is not subject to random fate or uncaring forces. I am the one who marks your path, rich with purpose even when obscured by clouds of confusion or struggle. Do not mistake silence for absence or difficulty for abandonment. My presence breathes within you, quiet yet unyielding, guiding each breath as surely as I set galaxies spinning. Every longing in your spirit echoes a deeper truth I have made you for relationship with me, for communion that transcends every circumstance. It matters not how many times you have questioned, am I truly seen? Is my labor worth anything in your eyes? I answer you now. Yes, beloved one, your efforts, your tears, your hopes, they are woven into the very fabric of my caring. Nothing is wasted in my kingdom. The late nights when you ache for comfort, the hidden sacrifices that none but I see, the words offered in love, even when your strength feels thin, these are seeds I tend, promises I water with my faithfulness. You look for results, for visible fruit, and sometimes all you can see is barren ground. I see the invisible roots, the slow nurturance that yields greater harvests than your hurried heart can imagine. Keep moving forward, not because you must prove your worth, but because I have already declared you precious. Let each task, no matter how humble, become a testimony of trust, a quiet partnership between your hands and my heart. There will always be voices inside and out that insist you are not enough. Sometimes they are old wounds, other times the noise of comparison or condemnation. But I whisper a different story. I call you by a name you have not yet heard in its fullness, a name reflecting my dreams for you, my unshakable commitment to your flourishing. When you stumble or falter, let me lift your chin. Guilt and shame are heavy stones you were never meant to carry. Instead, open your hands, let them fall, and find them replaced with gifts only I can give: peace, surpassing understanding, joy that outlasts pain, courage to rise and begin again. Your world is restless, hungry for answers, but heed my invitation not to run ahead or shrink back in fear. You are safe in my leading. Every delay, every redirection is under my wise sovereignty. Do you remember when you were a child, trusting those taller and stronger to lead you through places unknown? My arms are stronger still. When the future feels uncertain, rest in my constancy. My love is not fickle. My plans are not thwarted by what surprises you. Even your missteps are not fatal detours, but lessons I use to deepen your dependence on me and your compassion for others. As the river finds its way to the sea, so I direct your course, sometimes swift, sometimes slow, always toward my good purposes. I know, too, that waiting is often the most difficult obedience. It feels passive, as though nothing important is happening. Yet much transpires in the hidden places. Just as a seed breaks open in the earth long before a sprout is visible, in those seasons where waiting stretches on, let your prayers be honest. Tell me of your frustration, your doubt, your weariness. I am not afraid of your questions or your grief. Bring them to me, the raw and the real, for I formed your emotions as surely as your intellect, and I can hold both. In our quiet exchange, even your sighs become sacred. Your longing is not a weakness but a sign of life, a hunger that I alone am the answer for. Resist the temptation to numb yourself or fill the ache with lesser things. Let the emptiness draw you closer, for I meet those who hunger and thirst with the fullness of my presence. Often you look around and see others moving ahead, receiving what you hoped for, living the life you imagined. Comparison is a thief that robs you of joy and gratitude. Your story is your own, written by my hand, not measured by anyone else's timetable or achievements. When envy threatens, turn your gaze back to me. I am all sufficient, able to satisfy the deepest needs of your soul. The gifts I have for you are perfectly tailored, arriving at precisely the right moment to prepare you for blessings you cannot yet comprehend. Trust that I withhold nothing good. Sometimes I protect you from things that seem desirable but would wound you, or delay what you desire, so you can grow into the vessel prepared for it. Let your focus shift from striving to abiding. My desire is not for you to exhaust yourself in endless attempts to earn my favor or win. My attention you already have both. Rest, not as an escape from responsibility, but as an act of faith that I am at work even when you are still. Draw near to me in the quiet moments. Let my words settle over you like gentle rain. As you do, renewal will rise within, and you will find strength to face what comes, not by force of will, but by my spirit living in you. You are not left alone to fend for yourself. My power is made perfect in your weakness. Each new day, I extend fresh mercies. Do not be weighed down by the regrets of yesterday or the fears of tomorrow. Stay with me in the present, where my grace is active and enough. Listen not only with your ears, but with a heart open to subtle guidance, a spirit attuned to my nudges. I speak in many ways, through beauty, through suffering, through the joys and interruptions of ordinary days. Tune your senses to my presence. I am nearer than you imagine, delighting in sharing every detail with you. Your identity is anchored in my love, not in the shifting tides of approval or achievement. When accusations rise up or you're tempted to believe you are not enough, return to me. Anchor your heart in my declarations over you. Chosen, cherished, called. Let these truths steady you in the storm, reminding you who you are and whose you are. My commitment to you is unwavering, my affection deeper than you dare to believe. So, as you take another step, know you move not in isolation, but within the embrace of the one who formed you. Your story continues, shaped by my goodness, sustained by my promises, led by my unerring hand. I see the hidden storms you face, the prayers you have whispered quietly, words barely uttered but heavy with longing. You wonder if your voice, small and trembling, reaches the heights of heaven, or whether your tears dry unseen upon the earth. Know that I am attentive not only to the thunderous pleas, but also to the sighs that escape in weariness. In the quiet, in the solitary moments, I am nearer than you imagine. Let your heart rest from its striving and let your soul breathe. You are not required to prove your worth before me. The constant struggle to be enough in the eyes of others, or even in your own, can exhaust you and make your spirit grow faint. Instead, lean into the truth that my love for you is not measured by your accomplishments, failures, or by any fleeting emotion. My affection for you rests on who you are, fashioned in my image, and marked by a purpose only you can fulfill. The journey you walk is not without obstacles or moments of confusion. There are times you feel lost, unsure which way to turn, the path obscured by shadows of doubt. But just as a shepherd guides each lamb, even when the trail winds through valleys and over rugged ground, I am guiding you with patience and intention. Do not fear the pauses or delays, for even in waiting I am at work. Sometimes to prepare what you have asked, sometimes to prepare you for what I have destined. Each delay can become fertile ground, where patience and faith blossom in unforeseen ways, where you may find answers to questions you hadn't voiced. Do not despise these seasons, for they are part of your becoming. Bring your uncertainty to me, and let me bear the weight of it. I delight to carry what burdens you. There are gifts within you that you have yet to recognize, seeds of creativity, empathy, courage, and wisdom that I planted long ago. Pressures from outside, or harsh words you may have absorbed, might have covered them over like soil burying a sprouting seed. But with the warmth of my love and the light of my truth, those seeds can break through. The world does not always celebrate the quiet, unseen acts you perform each day, yet I see them. Every gesture of kindness, every sacrifice made in secret, every moment you choose love over resentment weighs as precious in my sight. Nothing escapes my notice, even when applause is absent. Perhaps you look around and compare your life to others, measuring your value by accomplishments you see in their stories. This comparison steals joy and clouds your view of the unique journey I am writing with you. I crafted you for a particular purpose that no one else can complete, and the timeline I hold for you is perfectly fitted to who you are. I do not rush you, nor am I disappointed in your pace. Trust in my sovereign wisdom and trust that your path, with its twists and turns, is leading you exactly where you need to go. Whether you are running or limping, celebrated or overlooked, you remain cherished and essential in my unfolding plan. When shame clings or regret threatens to define you, remember the cleansing streams I have provided. My forgiveness is not doled out in small portions, but offered freely and completely. Come as you are, letting go of what you cannot erase, and allow me to wash over you with hope and new beginnings. There is no stain too deep for the power of my mercy. The past does not own the narrative of your life. I am the one writing new chapters, and my pen is dipped in redemption. I am not shocked by your stumbles nor discouraged by your questions. Instead, I welcome you with arms that never grow weary, eager to heal and restore. When you find joy, do not apologize for the brightness of your laughter or the softness of your wonder. Delight is sacred, meant to be savored and shared. I celebrate your victories with you, rejoicing in your growth and resilience. I take pleasure in the simple moments when gratitude sweeps over you, when hope lights even a small corner of your heart. These are holy gifts, a taste of eternity breaking into the ordinary. Do not believe the voice that tells you faith must be flawless to be real. Faith flourishes in the soil of vulnerability and honesty. Bring your doubts, your fears, your messy prayers. Lay them before me without shame. I am not intimidated by your questions or put off by your uncertainties. Rather, I welcome your whole heart, the strong and the faltering alike. Trust is not the absence of struggle, but the willingness to walk with me through it. In every shakiness, I offer stability. In every question, I whisper my assurance. Let my hope anchor you in the swirling current of change. As storms threaten and the ground seems to shift beneath your feet, remember that I remain constant. My promises do not expire with seasons or circumstances. I am faithful when days are bright and when nights draw long. Cling to the truth that you are not alone. I am with you, beside you, behind you, and before you. There is nothing that can snatch you from my care. Even when your grip on faith feels weak, know that my hold on you never falters. Bring into the open what you have hidden away, the wounds and worries you have avoided addressing. With gentleness, I call you into healing, offering light where shame once grew, and comfort where pain carved deep hollows. Nothing is beyond my ability to mend, no scar too deep for my touch. Let honesty and grace guide your steps as you journey toward wholeness. It is not your perfection, but your openness that invites transformation. Your prayers do not disappear unheard. Even when answers seem distant or different from what you hoped, I am attentive. Sometimes I answer with gifts wrapped in unexpected forms. Sometimes the gift is my presence itself, sustaining you through the waiting. Trust that nothing is wasted, not a tear, not a whispered longing, not a step taken in faith. I weave all things, seen and unseen, into a greater tapestry, the beauty of which you will someday see more fully. As you breathe, receive my peace. Let anxieties loosen their grip, for nothing escapes my care or concern. I am working in ways both mysterious and magnificent, tending to needs before you name them, opening doors you never imagined and closing ones that would have led you astray. Rest, not just in moments of stillness, but even as you move forward. Carry the assurance that you are accompanied, guided, and fiercely loved through it all. Let your days be marked by courage, not because you feel unafraid, but because you trust me, even in trembling. Step out, trusting that each new beginning is held securely in my hands. I delight in your willingness to try again, to hope anew, to believe that beauty is possible even from broken pieces. Every new sunrise testifies that my mercies are renewed for you, and every sunset is covered by my grace. You may sense that the road behind you is littered with forgotten hopes, dreams that never quite bloomed. Yet, I assure you, nothing truly planted in the garden of my care is wasted. Every longing, every whispered prayer, each heartache that found no answer in the times you craved, these are the seeds I have gathered, precious to me. In your seasons of waiting, you may have asked me, why the silence? Why this pause? But even in silence, there is a language of love. I have been laboring for you in ways that do not shout but sing softly under the surface of your days, weaving deliverance and new beginnings out of threads you didn't see. As you walk, doubt sometimes coils around your resolve. It tries to convince you that you are alone, that your struggles have isolated you, that failures have distanced you from my heart. But listen now, my closeness is not defined by your perfection, but by my endless grace. I am not like those who abandon in weakness. My very nature is to draw closer when you feel frail. I invite you not to strive harder, but to look again, to quietly trust that your story is not finished and that I hold the pen. I see your quiet courage, the small steps you take, even when your heart is unsure. These are acts of faith that delight me more than grand gestures. You and I together in these small things are building a foundation stronger than you know. You do not have to carry the world's weight on your shoulders. I never asked you to bear burdens alone. Lay your anxieties before me. Let your questions out. Bring me even your anger and your weariness. I do not flinch at your honesty. Bring your broken pieces, yes, all of them, to my hands. I welcome you not as a distant monarch, but as a gentle healer, eager to lift what crushes your spirit. What you surrender, I redeem. What you release, I restore. The freedom you dream of begins with that act of vulnerability with me. Each admission of weakness is an invitation for my strength. Think of a tree growing by a quiet river. Its roots reach into depths unseen, drawing sustenance beyond the heat of day, beyond storm and drought. I want you to live like that tree, anchored not in fear, but in my goodness, drawing hope from the deep places only I can fill. When the winds rise and life shakes you, do not mistake movement for uprooting. I am your steady ground. Your growth may feel slow, but I am nurturing you for fruitfulness in the right season. Trust me with your timing and your becoming. I am patient with you, so be patient with yourself. You may wonder what happens when you stumble or wander away. In the world's estimation, failure separates, jobs lost, relationships broken, reputations shattered. But in my kingdom, it is the returning heart I cherish most. When you turn back, even with trembling steps, I run to you with joy, not disappointment. My welcome is not conditional. I do not keep a ledger of wrongs, nor do I measure your worth by accomplishments. Your value was set long before you could earn or lose it. The cross was my ultimate declaration. Nothing remains to be paid for you to come home. Accept my embrace without hesitation. All of heaven rejoices when you remember that this is where you belong. Let my words of affirmation silence the litanies of self-doubt. Too long have you listened to voices that tell you who you are not. Let me tell you who you are, beloved, chosen, fiercely defended, and deeply treasured. The opinions of others may shift like sand, but my word over you is the rock that will not move. When wounds from the past ache or memories accuse, turn your ear to my promise. I name you mine, and no shadow can snatch that truth away. Live from that place of assurance, and watch how courage grows within you. But alongside comfort, I offer invitation. Growth is never passive. My love compels you forward. It does not leave you unchanged. I call you to lay down old patterns, habits that no longer serve you, attitudes that close your heart to newness. Transformation is my work, and you're yielding. Trust me enough to challenge even the familiar if it binds you. Repentance is not just turning from sin, it is turning toward the life I made you for. Each surrender makes space for joy. Ask me to renew your mind, shape your desires, infuse your ordinary days with purpose. Invite me into your routines, your work, your words. Watch how even the mundane shimmers with meaning when you walk with me consciously. Remember, you are not just being changed for your own sake. Every life I touch becomes a vessel of hope for others. As you heal, you become a healer. As you forgive, you free others. As you receive love, you overflow with generosity. Let no insecurity lock you in isolation. You are designed for connection, to receive and to give. Even the smallest gestures of kindness can ripple outward, becoming echoes of my heart in the world. There are people I am bringing across your path who need what I am growing in you. Do not underestimate the light you carry. When you feel unqualified, remember that I have always chosen unlikely carriers for my glory. Shepherds, fishermen, outcasts, the overlooked and underestimated. What matters most is not your resume, but your willingness. Ask me each day, who can I love? Where can I serve? How can I shine hope in the shadows? Even when you do not see the impact, seeds are being sown. Trust me with the slow miracles. If your journey is marked by disappointment, do not define your future by your past. I am a God of restoration and new mercies. Hold your pain in my light, and I will show you how suffering can birth strength, how scars can become testimonies. What you survived may once have felt like loss, but in me, it can become legacy, a story that inspires, heals, and blesses others for generations you may never see. Do not waste your tears. Offer them to me, and I will water new possibilities. Let your hope be an anchor, not an escape. To hope with me is not denial of reality, but an embrace of the greater reality of my faithfulness. Some days the evidence will seem small, a whispered reassurance, a provision in need, a smile in sorrow. Mark these moments. They are reminders that I am still at work. The path may twist and climb, but I am with you always. As you continue walking, let gratitude shape your gaze. Notice the gifts I scattered daily: beauty in creation, laughter, unexpected moments of peace, the unfailing rhythm of your own breath. Celebrate progress, however incremental. Speak life over each day, each challenge, each triumph. Thankfulness opens the windows of your soul to receive more. Your capacity to delight grows with each grateful response. In the stillness, I am teaching you to rest not as reward, but as recognition of your belovedness. There is nothing to prove here, nothing to earn. Simply come and be. Rest is where you remember who I am and who you are to me. In your quiet surrender, I restore your soul, preparing you to rise again with compassion, vision, and strength renewed. This too is worship. There are moments when your heart longs for certainty, for a straightforward path where every decision is revealed before you must act. Yet I invite you, child of my heart, into a journey where trust is not just a word spoken, but an active reliance on my presence. When the winds of confusion whip through your mind and the future seems a blurred promise, remember that my guidance is not absent. I am the whisper in your quiet, urging you onward, encouraging you to step even when the path disappears over the hill. The assurance I offer is not found in the ease of your circumstances, but in the anchor of my presence. You will discover that true courage rises, not from understanding every detail, but from knowing the one who walks every step with you. If you find yourself questioning the wisdom you possess, let it bring you closer to me, not push you away with shame. Your need for my wisdom is the invitation I have placed before you come and ask, seek, and listen. Do not measure your worth by the clarity you possess today. Instead, measure it by your willingness to return to me, to bring your concerns, and to listen for my still, gentle voice. My wisdom is like rain for thirsty ground. It soaks where there is humility and transforms drought into a garden. Do not be afraid to pray simple prayers, for I am not impressed by eloquence, but by the sincere reaching of your spirit. Even your most broken, hesitant prayers reach me and move my heart toward you. As you seek to love others from this place of dependence, remember that your love flows not only from your limited strength, but from my inexhaustible supply. When you bump against the limits of your patience, grace, or understanding, pause and inhale the truth of my love for you. It is this foundation that enables you to extend compassion to those who perplex or disappoint you. I am teaching you how to see others with my eyes, a perspective that does not reduce anyone to their faults or failures, but instead calls forth their true identity. Quickly let go of the record of wrongs you keep. Keeping account weighs down your spirit and closes doors to healing. I urge you to forgive as you have been forgiven, which is without reserve or condition. There may be wounds in your life that have left scars you wish could be hidden or erased. Yet these marks are not evidence of defeat, but of your journey in a world where suffering and joy are often intertwined. I am present in your pain, gathering every tear, attentive to your cries in the secret places where no one else has access. The grief you sometimes try to push down or ignore is not a failure to trust me. Rather, it is an invitation to deeper intimacy, where I can comfort and restore you from the inside out. When you bring me your heartache, you do not have to present it as something smaller or less important than it really is. I can handle the raw honesty of your pain. My hands are not rough or indifferent. They are gentle, skilled at healing, able to transform ashes into beauty that cannot be stolen. You wonder why some prayers seem to go unanswered, or why the longing in your heart persists despite your efforts to surrender it. My timing is not always easily understood, but it is never careless or random. I see the entirety of your story, including chapters not yet written. Some answers are delayed, not because I delight in withholding, but because I am forming a resilience and depth in you to hold future blessings. I am cultivating faith in you, shaping a vessel that can contain the fullness of what I desire to pour out. When you cannot see the purpose, hold tightly to the truth that I am good and that my plans for you are not for harm, but for hope and a future. Let this knowledge free you from the pressure to produce results as proof of my presence in your life. I am not evaluating your worth by outward accomplishments or public recognition. My gaze is fixed on the heart, on the quiet motives behind every action, the choices you make when no one is watching. If you are tempted to compare your journey to that of another, look instead into my eyes, where there is no condemnation, only the affirmation that you are exactly where you need to be. My work in you cannot be rushed or measured by any standard, except my own loving intention. I delight in your willingness to return, over and over, to the shelter of my love. My beloved, be gentle with yourself, as I am gentle with you. Transformation is rarely a leap, but a series of small choices each day, each moment where you turn toward me. Celebrate these small victories, the steps others may overlook. Within them, I see the evidence of your faithfulness, the quiet triumphs that are precious in my sight. You are not disqualified by weakness, nor set aside by failure. Instead, you are being made whole, drawn closer to the source of all strength. Let my patience with you become the patience you extend to yourself. Sometimes, you may believe that your battles are too insignificant, or that your doubts disqualify you from deeper intimacy with me. Cast aside that notion, for I am drawn to the humble, to those who bring their brokenness rather than their pretense. Even in your bewilderment or fear, I am not put off or surprised. Instead, I meet you there, offering the assurance that you are never alone. Allow my love to become the shelter where your fears dissolve and your courage is reborn. There is purpose in every season you encounter, even the ones that seem bleak or interminable. I am not wasteful with your experiences. Every sorrow surrendered to me, every joy celebrated in gratitude, becomes a building block in a foundation that is unshakable. Nothing is lost in my economy. I redeem what the world dismisses and restore what seems irreparably broken. Let this truth sink deep into your soul. Even now I am at work, weaving the threads of your life into a tapestry that will one day reveal the fullness of my glory. Do not rush to see the finished picture. Trust that each thread, no matter how dark or bright, has a place in my design. Rest in the knowledge that I am working even when you are unaware. When you feel as though progress is too slow, remember that seeds planted in hidden places require darkness, warmth, and time to break open. Your faithfulness in the quiet, your commitment to hope against hope, is not overlooked. I love to surprise my children with the harvest that grows from invisible beginnings. Allow yourself permission to hope, even when disappointment has dulled your expectations. I am honored by your choice to believe in my goodness, especially in the absence of visible evidence. Hear me whisper now. You are seen, known, and cherished. There is no aspect of your life that escapes my attention. No longing too insignificant for my care. Lift your eyes and see that my love surrounds you like a shield, defending you from accusation and discouragement. I am your advocate, the one who intercedes on your behalf, standing in the gap for you even when your own hope falters. Let these words be a balm to your weary spirit. Anchor yourself in the promise that my presence will never leave you, and that no force is powerful enough to sever you from my embrace. Let your heart find solace in the truth that transformation is not a momentary spark but a patient, glowing ember I tend with care. Where you see failure, I see formation. Where you notice only delay, I am working a depth in you that cannot be rushed. My ways are not your ways, and my timing is crafted in wisdom that sees the tapestry, not just the thread. The longing in your spirit, sometimes restless, sometimes heavy, is an invitation. I am calling you not to sprint ahead, but to walk beside me. Trust that even your weariness is embraced. I do not expect you to always be strong. I am that strength for you, accessible in every sigh, every whispered prayer, every silent tear. When you feel emptied and the world around you seems barren, remember that the soil of your soul is where I plant seeds. Some you will notice as they sprout, and others will grow unseen until the rains come. Wait for me, not with fear or fretting, but with the quiet hope of one who knows they are cherished. For in the waiting, I am not apart. I am closer than your next breath. Listen when I draw your attention to the small miracles in your day. The smile of a stranger, the warmth of sunlight, the gentle nudge of conviction. In these, I offer reminders that you are not alone. Let gratitude blossom in the mundane. Let your eyes look for my fingerprints in moments others may overlook. The world teaches you to search for the dramatic, the instant, the unforgettable, but I delight to shape you gently, forming strength and softness in harmony. As you gaze at your story, do not only count the battles lost or won, attend to the quiet victories, the growth hidden at the edge of your awareness. You may sometimes feel misunderstood, or that your prayers echo in silence, but every word lifts to me. Your voice is precious, your heart is heard, even when your lips cannot form the words. I know each hope tucked away and each sorrow you carry. I invite you to rest those burdens here with me. Lay down the mask you wear for others, the face of certainty, of unshakable happiness. I already see what is real, and I love who you truly are, not merely the image you present. There is no need to fear rejection from me, no need to earn acceptance you already possess. Look at how even the strongest wind cannot uproot a tree whose roots are deep in steady ground. So it is for you. The more you soak yourself in my presence, the less the tempests of life can shake you from your foundation. Let your roots explore the depths of my unchanging love, drawing nourishment for resilience, patience, and joy. In times of storm, reach deep, not to your own resources, but to my unending well. There you will discover the peace that outlasts every trouble. You ask whether you are worthy of my attention, whether your failings disqualify you from hope. I assure you, my gaze is unwavering, drawn not to perfection but to humility. I am not looking for monuments you could build in your own strength. I seek the heart that welcomes me in its need, that leans into grace rather than striving to be enough on its own. Your efforts, your desire to choose good, matter to me. But your worth is measured in my love for you, and that is a measure I set, not you. Allow yourself to mourn losses honestly in my presence. I am the God who collects your tears as treasures. I cherish your vulnerability more than your bravado. Bring your disappointments, your unfulfilled dreams, your secret hurts, and lay them before me. I am not impatient with your sadness. I do not dismiss your pain. I am the healer who works gently, not with hurried fixes, but with an understanding touch. Over and again, I invite you, come as you are. When the voice of accusation whispers of your weaknesses, when shame seeks to hold you back, remember who calls you forward. I am the author and finisher of your story, not the world, not your failures, not your fears. I knit together the shattered pieces to form something beautiful, a mosaic, only visible through the eyes of grace. Trust the hands that molded mountain and sea are also shaping every detail of your life, even those which seem lost or broken beyond repair. Surrender then is not defeat, but the doorway to new life. Give me your uncertainties, your reluctance, your questions. Let surrender be the offering through which I pour peace. For as you loosen your grip, you create space for me to work freely, untangling what you could not unravel on your own. Confess honestly where you have tried and failed, where you have held back, where anxiety pins you down. I do not scold. I receive your honesty with compassion and uplift you with my mercy. Cherish community, for I created you not to journey alone. Isolation breeds despair, but sharing your story, your struggles and hopes, creates sacred connection. Draw near to others in grace, for you were made to reflect my love as you receive it. Speak kindly, forgive often, and lean on those I have placed beside you. Your faith is strengthened in the togetherness of shared burdens and multiplied joys. I am already waiting in your tomorrows. Do not fear the future, for as you step forward, you will find that I have prepared a way. I go ahead of you, making crooked paths straight, opening doors that cannot be shut. Yes, uncertainty may remain, but my faithfulness does not waver. You can step forward in trust, not because the path is easy, but because I walk it with you. Let hope arise then, not as a fragile wish, but as a sure anchor. For I have promised to complete the good work begun within you. Stay expectant, not because you trust in your own ability, but because you trust in my unchanging heart for you. Lift your eyes even when you feel weary. I am the lifter of your head, the restorer of your joy, the keeper of every promise whispered in the secret place. You have come far with me, threading your way through moments of hidden sorrow, silent pleas, and soft victories only I have fully seen. Each time you chose to lift your eyes in trust, I noticed. Every quiet act of love woven into ordinary days was a fragrant offering before me, a reminder of how profoundly intertwined your life is with my purpose. Sometimes you have wondered if these daily offerings are enough, or if they matter amid a world that celebrates spotlight and noise. Yet I am the one who sees in secret. I am the keeper of every tear, every whispered prayer, and I count what the world overlooks. Your hidden sacrifices are seeds I water. They grow in ways you do not see, rippling outward into lives and generations yet to unfold. Stand firm then, in the knowledge that no moment surrendered to love is ever lost in my sight. Though you cannot always measure the effects, your life echoes beyond the scene. I am not a distant observer but a present friend, attentive to the trembling of your heart. Bring me your doubts as well as your certainty, for I am a safe place, able to bear both. In the hours when fear lingers like a shadow in the room, my voice is not far off, but as close as the next breath. I speak softly sometimes through a memory, a gentle nudge, or an unexplainable peace that takes root where there was turmoil. When you feel isolated or misunderstood, recall that I know the language of your heart better than it can explain itself. There is no loneliness so deep that my presence cannot enter it with warmth and restore hope. I am with you in the crowds, and especially in the quiet corners where you long for reassurance. I am the faithful witness to every chapter of your story. Let me bring clarity to the confusion sown by voices that twist love into duty and performance into worth. My love is not a wage to be earned, but a current that flows freely to sustain you. When shame hisses that you have failed or fallen short, remember that I invite you into wholeness, not punishment. My correction is gentle, born only from the desire to heal, never to harm. If you have wandered into distraction or numbness, I do not scold but call you back with compassion, desiring to restore what has been chipped away by regret. I celebrate your return every single time there is no cap on my welcome. Your willingness to begin again delights me, for I am the God of new mornings, the one who delights in resetting your steps. Buried beneath the weariness you sometimes feel is a resilience I myself have given you. Though you worry that your strength will fail, I reassure you that my strength begins where yours reaches its edge. Stay close to my heartbeat, and you will find courage rising unexpectedly, a holy stubbornness to hope when hope seems thin. Let your soul extend its roots deeper into my love. From there, you will draw the richness required for every season, be it lean or abundant. Do not despise the days of small beginnings or quiet faithfulness, for I am the builder of legacies begun in secret. What you offer, no matter how humble or feeble it seems, I bless and multiply. As you commune with me, open yourself anew to the wonder that still lives within my promises. Do not let cynicism or disappointment choke out the childlike awe that sees miracles in the mundane. Laughter is a gift I pour into even the hardest of journeys, and joy is fortified in sorrow, not nullified by it. When you allow yourself to be present to the gifts of this moment, your gratitude sanctifies the ordinary, and my kingdom becomes visible in bread, in breath, in glimpses of beauty hidden in the everyday. Savor these gifts, trusting that I am not only present in the spectacular, but especially in the overlooked. Let not the progress of others ignite envy or self-doubt within you. My pathway for you is uniquely crafted, shaped not by comparison but by love for your singular heart. Rejoice in the victories of those around you, and listen carefully for the invitations I extend to you alone. The pace and directions you travel may differ, but the love that undergirds and guides you is unchanging. Be patient with your becoming. You are not late, not lagging behind some secret schedule. I celebrate your process, the gradual unfolding of who you are, because I see the beauty destined to emerge fully in its time. Set your attention, as best you can, on what is true. You are safe in me, even when the world seems unmoored. The storms that threaten do not have the final say, and every loss you lay before me is not an ending, but a replanting in the soil of eternal hope. Watch closely. Resurrection is my signature. Each setback a potential start for newness even you could not have conceived. Even your mistakes are not wasted, for I am a master at weaving redemption through the very threads you thought too tangled for light. My plans for you are not foiled by detours. I make pathways where there seem to be none and bring meaning for moments that appear barren. Choose, as often as needed, to rest in my sufficiency. The burdens you insist on carrying alone become lighter when you let me partner with you. My rest is not mere absence of toil, but the rhythm of breathing deeply in my love, of letting anxieties loosen their grip under the weight of my presence. Return to this quiet place whenever weariness overwhelms. Here I renew vision, restore energy, and refocus your heart on what matters most. Refuse to believe the lie that you must earn your place. Hear instead my welcome again and again. You belong not because you are flawless, but because you are mine. I know the ache of questions that linger unresolved, the longing for clarity where there is only mystery. It is all right to ask, to seek, even to weep where you do not understand. Your vulnerability is precious to me. It opens room for my wisdom and comfort to enter spaces where platitudes would never reach. Let yourself grieve what must be grieved, but watch for the comfort I send through unexpected sources, a kind word, a sunrise, the faithful rhythm of my faithfulness. Even as you sit with what is unfinished, trust that I am the author who eventually brings every story to completion. Hour by hour, day by day, know that I am sustaining you. I conduct the unseen details, moving on your behalf, orchestrating answers and alignments you don't always witness. Your patience is never wasted. Every moment of waiting builds trust, flexes spiritual muscles, and opens you to a deeper understanding of my heart. Do not misunderstand delay as absence. I am never indifferent or inattentive. My timing, though mysterious, is always aimed toward your flourishing in my glory. Continue to trust in the way only those who have risked hope can, for I am faithful to do beyond what you dare imagine. I invite you continually to step out in faith, to risk loving, serving, and dreaming with courage. Perfection is not my requirement, openness is. Take the next step you can, entrusting me with both the outcome and the ongoing journey. Should you stumble, my hand is extended before you even fall. Do not define yourself by shortcomings, but by the momentum of my love drawing you ever onward. You are part of a greater story, precious in the weaving and in every thread that you bring. Beloved, you have walked with me through the valleys of your heart and across the rivers of your secret longings. You have let my words pour into places that needed water, into the soil that sometimes felt worn and barren from all your striving. You hear my voice now as the gentle touch on your spirit, and as the powerful declaration that settles into the core of your being. All that you have wondered about your purpose, those questions and silent cries have not gone unheard. I have been with you through every whisper of hope and every heavy sigh. Even now, my presence encircles you, shaping the atmosphere of this moment. There is no darkness that stays when you allow my light to shine, no wound that remains forever untouched when you let my healing move through you. I know the losses you have carried, how deeply you felt the sting of disappointment or rejection. I know the secret doubts, the moments when your faith felt thin as a thread, and you questioned whether I could truly be as close as I say. But I tell you again, not a single tear has fallen unnoticed. Not a single hope has disappeared from my view. I collect them all and I return them to you as jewels restored, renewed, and more brilliant than before. It is my delight, more than you can comprehend, to lead you towards the fullness of life I have prepared for you. You may think some doors are closed, that opportunities have slipped through your fingers, or that you have missed my best for you. but I am the one who holds all time and possibility. Where you see locked gates, I see pathways opening in unexpected places. Where you have seen dead ends, I bring resurrection. Nothing is wasted, not your pain, not your waiting, not even your mistakes. I weave everything into a tapestry that reflects my goodness and the beauty I see in you. Look back and realize how I have carried you, a gentle hand guiding, a faithful presence steadying, a loving whisper reminding you that you have never truly been alone. Every chapter in your story matters to me. There is no shame that I cannot lift, no chain I cannot break, no weakness I cannot transform into strength. Draw closer now, not just with your words or your plans, but with your trust. Rest in the truth that my love for you is not measured by your performance, nor diminished by your moments of fear. I chose to love you freely, fully, and unconditionally. Receive it anew. Accept that you are enough, not because of your own perfection, but because I have called you mine. Lay down your burdens, those heavy expectations, those battles you fight inside your thoughts. Let me carry them. Let me show you how light your spirit can feel when you give them to me completely. There is a peace that surpasses reasoning, that quiets the storm both outside and within. This peace is your inheritance. Whenever waves rise up, speak my promises, not with striving, but with assurance that my word is true and my power is for you. See yourself as I see you, cherished, gifted, and chosen for good things. Delight in your uniqueness. Every scar, every laugh line, every memory is woven with intention. Where you have believed the lie that you are inadequate or helpless, let my voice override all others. You are more than your circumstances. You are more than your failures or your limited vision. The same spirit that raised life from death dwells in you, awakening hope, granting wisdom, and lighting your path. Walk forward with the confidence that you are accompanied by me in all things. The unknown does not need to frighten you because I am already there, preparing, shielding, and providing every step of the way. Cultivate gratitude in your heart, for thanksgiving aligns you with the melody of heaven. Let your praise arise not just in the moments of victory, but in the ordinary routines and even the difficult places. Watch how thankfulness transforms your outlook and lifts your spirit. You are not alone in your battle. You are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, those who have walked before you, and the angels who fight beside you. When you feel your resolve falter, remember that you stand in the strength I provide, not your own. You are more resilient, more courageous, and more loved than you know. I call you now to act, to put your faith into tangible steps. Love generously, forgive fully, serve with compassion, and speak life wherever you go. Trust me enough to let go of what you cannot control. Embrace the journey, and know that nothing can separate you from my love. I am not distant or silent. I am as near as your next breath, guiding you, even when you cannot see the way. Trust the still, small voice that invites you forward. My blessing rests upon you. I have equipped you with everything you need for the road ahead: wisdom for decisions, strength for trials, and joy for the journey. When you are discouraged, lift your eyes and see that you are surrounded by my faithfulness. Nothing you face is without purpose when viewed through my eyes. Do not compare your journey to others, for I have written a unique and beautiful story for you. My beloved, let the assurance settle within you. What you hold in your hands, these words, are not an accident, nor were they meant for someone else. This is my message, spoken into the chambers of your soul, a beacon crafted to reach you right here, right now. I prepare a revelation for those willing to keep listening. There is something just for you, something you cannot discover anywhere else, if only you remain present and attentive. Much rests on you choosing to hear my voice and opening your heart to it. If you walk away or let your mind wander, The comfort you seek, the guidance you crave, and the restoration you long for will remain just out of reach. But if you stay, if you dare to press in, I will uncover for you truths that have long been veiled, secrets that have been reserved from the beginning for such a time as this. This message is unlike any other because it is a direct invitation from me to you, a conversation unmediated, an embrace without distance or shadow. In these words, I will walk with you through your hidden valleys and stand alongside you on your windswept heights and all the space in between. You may be weary from striving, burdened by questions or wounds that others have overlooked or misunderstood. I see it all. I want you to know that your story matters. The longing you carry in silence, the ache that echoes in the secret corridors of your soul that is not invisible to me. You do not need to hide, nor do you need to earn my closeness. I am already nearer than your next breath. Do not fear the depth or darkness of your questions, for I am not made nervous by your struggles. I invite you to bring every thought, every doubt, every hope into the light of my presence, where understanding and grace flow freely, not in crumbs but in abundance. My longing is for your wholeness, for you to encounter the peace that can never be shaken, not when storms rise, not when your strength falters, not even when your faith trembles. Each day I have watched over you, even when you could not see me, even when you wondered if I was distant or silent. Let me show you a love that does not retreat, a faithfulness that never grows tired, a patience that is endless and wise. I speak gently as I lead you forward, for I know the weight you have carried. Some of that weight, precious soul, I have not asked you to carry at all. You were never meant to stagger beneath burdens too great for one heart to hold. Rest here for just a moment. Let the striving cease. You are here to listen, yes, but also to receive. In this quiet, I want to remind you that you are not defined by your failures, nor by the labels the world has given you, nor by the harsh verdicts you have sometimes whispered over your own soul. You are more than your mistakes and disappointments. You are seen, chosen, and cherished by me. The foundation of your identity is not built on shifting sand, but on the rock of my unchanging affection and purpose for you. As you release each breath, let my nearness fill the spaces that fear once occupied. Love has come for you, not to pass by or stay only on the threshold, but to make its dwelling in your life. I fashion courage within you, not because you must be fearless to be loved, but because my love makes courage possible. Even as you hesitate or question, I draw near. Your brokenness does not repel me, it draws me closer. The wilderness spaces, those seasons of confusion and waiting, are not wasted. They teach you something intimate about my heart. I know how to guide you when you cannot see the path. I know how to provide water when all seems dryness. I know how to bring light where shadows linger. Do not despise these wilderness places, for in them I often speak with a clarity that cannot be heard amid the noise. Trust that I am always at work, in seen and unseen ways, shaping you with kindness and infinite wisdom. Sometimes you wonder if your prayers are heard, if your tearful pleas are lost before they ever reach me. I hear every word. Even sighs too deep for speech are gathered by my compassion. You have not been alone in your hardest moments, not for a single heartbeat. I am acquainted with every sorrow, every fear that tugs at the edges of your courage. Yet, in the very place of your vulnerability, I invite you to lay your burdens down at my feet. You do not have to hold together what feels as though it is crumbling. My strength is made perfect, not in spotless performance, but in your honest need. Let me quiet your anxious thoughts. Where you have felt scattered, I gather you together. Where you have known only striving, I call you to cease and lean into my embrace instead. You will find here a peace that passes understanding, a stillness sweeter than you dreamed possible. I am remaking not just the circumstances around you, but the very atmosphere within you. Hope is not a distant wish, but a present, living reality when you allow me to breathe upon your heart. The past is not your prison. Regret does not own you. The future is not yours to fear. I hold your times in my hands. Stay close, for there is more. I wish to reveal a path unfolding beneath your feet, made safe by my leading. In the silence, hear my voice calling. I am not the voice of shame or condemnation, but the one who calls you by name, who delights in you, who sings over you in the night. When I draw near, every wall you've built for self-protection may grow trembling and thin. Do not be afraid. Let me gently dismantle every section that stands between us, replacing fear with trust, isolation with belonging, and sorrow with joy. This is not an offer for another, it is for you. All that I am, I lavish on you with purpose and tenderness. Each day as you awaken, know that my mercies greet you anew. They do not run dry, nor are they rationed according to your worthiness or performance. You have been created to receive, to walk in the fullness of sonship and daughterhood. You are my beloved, the one in whom I see beauty, strength, and promise, even when you feel small or unseen. There is nothing you can do to make me love you more, and nothing you have done that could make me love you less. My love is not a frail human promise. It is eternal, unbreakable, and set upon you with joy. Let your heart settle in this truth. I am better than you have dared hope, more faithful than you have believed, closer than you have realized. I am not far off or indifferent. I delight to reveal myself to you in ways both familiar and surprising. Even now, I whisper from beyond the veil of fatigue and cynicism, inviting you to discover depths of intimacy yet unimagined. This is a journey not into rigid obligation, but into delight. You are free, not because of your perfection, but because of my overwhelming grace. My child, lean in, listen, and allow my words to reframe the landscape of your life, building in you an unshakable hope that no darkness can extinguish. I see you in the stillness when you wonder if my presence is real, in moments when your heart aches for reassurance. I am not a distant shadow or a fading memory. I draw near to you right now, utterly aware of the depths you carry within. If you have questioned whether you are seen, whether your thoughts and pain matter, let me speak to those silent corners of your soul, those places even you are reluctant to enter. My voice speaks now, not as mere echoes of old stories, but as a living whisper tailored for you. Even as your heart resists, beneath layers of doubt and self-protection, I hold you steady. I am not tired of you, nor am I impatient with your process. Every longing you have for healing, meaning, and love, every unspoken request has reached me. Here, you do not have to hide or perform. Let me remind you that I have always pursued you, even in seasons where you felt directionless or numb. The movements of your story, each chapter marked by joy or sorrow, are not overlooked. I have charted your path through uncertainty, preparing a way through places that seemed impossible. Your weariness, your unanswered prayers, the cycles you desperately hoped would break, I see all of them. With infinite gentleness, I invite you to unclench your fists and allow my comfort to fill you. You do not have to pretend before me. I made you, intricately and purposefully. Your burdens are not a surprise or disappointment to me. While others may fail to understand or offer you only shallow comfort, I draw closer, understanding you with a depth no one else can match. Not every season brings clarity. There are storms that feel endless and valleys that seem to swallow all light. Let me assure you, none of those places are barren when I walk with you. In darkness, my presence becomes your steady guide. When you feel overwhelmed by the unknown and your plans unravel, I am already at work to bring new purpose from the ashes. Do not measure your worth by outward outcomes, nor believe the lie that you have been forgotten in tests or losses. What I build in you during uncertain times will bear fruit in its season, fruit more enduring than any fleeting success. My love for you is not performance-based. It cannot be undone by your weak days or multiplied by your strong ones. I love you because you are mine, chosen long before you knew how to seek me. Let your guard fall for a moment. Permit yourself to imagine a love that is not transactional, a relationship in which you receive instead of striving endlessly to earn. I do not withdraw when you are afraid. Instead, I speak peace into the swirl of anxiety and call you to rest, not because you have finished all tasks, but because my presence itself is enough. Rest is not the absence of struggle, but the awareness that you are never alone in it. Even as you contend with fears you can barely name, I encircle you, providing balm for invisible wounds. My tenderness is an invitation, not a demand. You need not arm yourself against rejection here. Are you tired of feeling insufficient, forever striving to prove your worth, sometimes even to yourself? I long for you to trade your relentless self-judgment for the gentleness only I can provide. There is no flaw, mistake, or lack in you that startles me. I have already seen the end from the beginning. Each of your struggles is a space where I apply my grace, not my anger. Whenever you feel disqualified or unworthy, remember, my calling on your life is not canceled by what you see as failures. Rather, your brokenness becomes a canvas for my healing. Those secret scars, the moments you want to erase from your past, they are opportunities for redemption, not evidence against you. Trust does not mean never questioning. It means returning to me honestly, even with your doubts in hand. I honor your authentic questions more than empty words. You do not lose ground by coming to me with confusion or despair. The act of reaching out, even faintly, is itself an act of trust that delights my heart. My compassion does not run thin on days when you cannot offer more than a whispered prayer. I am not tallying your shortcomings, but tending to the places that most need my touch. As you read, let my words be living water pouring quietly over the parts of you that feel parched. I know the subtle shame you try to outrun, the weight of comparison that robs you of hope. Relinquish the urge to perform. Relinquish the lie that your worth fluctuates with circumstances. The life I give you is not based on shifting emotions or the ever-changing approval of others. It is anchored in my eternal delight over you. In this holy exchange, you are free, free to be seen in weakness, free to be loved without pretense. If old disappointments rise within you, if prayers seem unanswered, bring them to me as they are. I am not asking for sterilized or filtered hopes. The dreams you set aside because they felt impossible, I still remember them. I am intimately acquainted with every tear and every hope deferred. I do not minimize what you have lost or dismiss how long you have waited. Instead, I work even the delays into a greater good, a design you will recognize in time, though it remains hidden for now. Do not be afraid to let me see you fully. You are not defined by your lowest moments, nor limited by past regrets. My mercy makes all things new, yes, even those memories you have tried to bury, even the choices you wish could be remade. Surrender them to me, and watch as I exchange despair for hope, ashes for beauty. Trust this process, even when it moves slowly. I am patient, unwavering, a healer who never tires of tending to your soul. You do not need to manufacture strength or force progress. Simply stay near and receive the love that never fails. Do not let your heart grow numb to my voice, or even the softest whisper from me carries the fullness of life and purpose you seek. In every moment of silence, in every hour of waiting, know that I am sowing seeds too small to see but destined to bloom in radiant beauty. The journey you are on is not a series of random steps, but a finely woven tapestry where every sorrow and every joy contributes its thread. I know the moments when you have uttered words of prayer in the darkness, and how sometimes it seems your petitions vanish unheard. Yet I assure you, even those words that never found form on your lips, only rising as quiet sighs in your soul, are treasures held close to my heart. I am intricately familiar with the landscape of your days, the mountains of your victories, the valleys of your doubts, the deserts of your waiting, and the streams that surprise you with their refreshment. You wonder at times if you are moving too slowly or falling behind. Let me reassure you, there is no lateness in my presence, no missed appointments with my love. The world races and demands, but I teach you the unhurried dance of trust. Your journey with me will not be measured in the speed of progress, but in the depth of your closeness to me. Let your longing for my nearness outweigh your fear of being left behind. Draw close without fear, laying aside every mask you have crafted, for there is no shame in my gaze, only understanding more complete than you can fathom. When you mistake your brokenness for a barrier, remember that I choose to make my dwelling in the humble and the lowly. Your wounds are not obstacles, but open doors for my healing touch to enter and transform. In your daily labor, the mundane routines and hidden efforts are never wasted. I see the patience you extend when no one is watching, the forgiveness you offer quietly, the persistent hope you nurture against odds. These become the sacred offerings that rise like incense, pleasing to me beyond the applause of crowds. My delight is not in grand gestures, but in the small, sincere acts that reveal your growing likeness to my heart. So do not despise the ordinary, for I am most at home there, multiplying your faithfulness in ways unseen. Every time you refuse despair and choose hope, you join in the wonder of my resurrection power at work in the world and in your own soul. There are days when loneliness presses in, and you wonder if your walk with me matters at all. Take heart, for I assure you that you are eternally significant to me. Even when others misunderstand or ignore your sacrifice, I celebrate your faithfulness. You are never truly alone. My spirit moves with you, closer than your breath, guiding you through uncertain seasons. When you falter, I do not condemn but gently steady your steps, reminding you that your failures are not final. Let the assurance of my unwavering presence give courage to your trembling heart. I am the one who gathers your tears, transforming each sorrow into seeds for a coming harvest of comfort. Perhaps you have carried fear as a silent companion, fear of missing my will, fear of losing love, fear of the unknown tomorrows. Know this, my perfect love casts out fear. Release the lie that you must earn my approval or prove your worthiness. I call you beloved because of who I am and who you are to me, not because of your record of successes or failures. Embrace this truth, letting it settle into the deepest chambers of your soul. My plans for you are not contingent on your flawless performance, but on my everlasting faithfulness. Yield your anxious striving and simply rest in the assurance that I am working all things together for good, weaving even your setbacks into stories of redemption. Let your mind meditate on my promises, especially when shadows lengthen and doubts assail your thinking. Speak hope over your life, remembering that my word is living and active, more steadfast than the fleeting troubles that buffet your days. Renew your hope daily in my unchanging character. I am the steady rock beneath shifting sands, the shepherd who never abandons the flock. Trust me to provide light for your path, one step at a time. You do not need to see the entire journey to trust the one who leads you. Surrender your need for total control and receive peace greater than your understanding. I cherish your courage to trust, even while trembling. Sometimes the waiting feels unendurable, and you are tempted to grasp control, to force doors open before their time. Resist this urge and let patience do its perfect work in you. My timing is not a cruel delay, but an intentional preparation. I wait with you, never distant, always attentive. As you persevere, I refine your vision and purify your desires. Trust me that the gifts I withhold for now are not punishments but preparations for something better than you could hope. Accept the refining fire that purges false hopes and reveals treasures imperishable. You may say, "But Lord, I am weak, unqualified, overlooked. Do you not know that I delight to pour my power into vessels just like you? My grace is not diminished by your weakness. Rather, your weakness becomes the very channel through which my strength is revealed. Bring me your insufficiency, your smallness, your trembling heart. Watch what I can do with a life wholly yielded, no matter how humble you feel. I have chosen you because I love you, and I have equipped you for the purposes I prepared long before you drew your first breath. Let compassion flow from you as it flows from me. Allow forgiveness to loosen the grip of old wounds, releasing both yourself and others from chains of resentment. When you are wronged, cling not to the right of vengeance, but to the gift of mercy. In this, you bear my likeness most clearly. Leave the weight of judgment in my hands, trusting me to bring justice and restoration in my perfect time. Respond to hostility with kindness, and let your words become streams of healing. Where bitterness threatens to harden your heart, invite me in to soften and renew you again. Never disregard the power of thankfulness. Lift your gaze from obstacles and begin naming the daily graces I scatter all around you. Gratitude transforms perspective, opening your eyes to miracles that otherwise might go unnoticed. Rejoice in small mercies, the warmth of sunlight, the laughter of a friend, the provision of daily bread. In practicing gratitude, your spirit is lifted, and you become aware of my steadfast presence. I have not left you to fend for yourself. I uphold you with my victorious right hand and supply every need according to my rich abundance. Bring every heaviness to me. Come as you are without pretense or reserve. I specialize in lifting burdens and exchanging despair for hope, weakness for strength, mourning for joy. My invitation is not for a select few, but for all who are weary and weighed down. I will never tire of receiving you. Your struggles do not exhaust me, nor do your questions annoy. As you lean into me with honesty, I breathe new courage into your spirit and restore the songs that sorrow sought to silence. Hold nothing back, for I desire truth in your innermost parts and meet you there with transforming grace. My love is not fragile, nor is it fickle. It does not waver based on your mood or your circumstances. It is the most certain reality in all of existence, a foundation that cannot be shaken. Let this love redefine your understanding of who you are. You are not merely tolerated or pitied, you are chosen, delighted in, and utterly adored. Respond to this love by accepting yourself as I accept you, flaws and all. Let go of self-condemnation and embrace the freedom I purchased for you. Walk forward as one beloved, bearing the dignity and confidence that comes from being mine. You wonder sometimes if you are truly seen, if your efforts and tears gather in silence unnoticed. But I have watched over every hidden act of kindness and cherished each whisper of hope you carry in the secret corners of your heart. In the times when you feel invisible to those around you, I am standing closer than your very breath. My love does not require performance or achievement, for even the smallest desire to know me is celebrated in my presence. I have woven you together with care, forming a tapestry with every strength and weakness, every story and scar. There is a uniqueness in you, a specific color in the spectrum of humanity that only you can reflect. I am nourishing the hidden roots within you, even when your growth remains underground, for there are seasons when roots deepen before the fruit appears. Trust in my patient cultivation, for you are not behind or lost. In my timing, nothing is wasted, and the years that seem to have slipped through your fingers are gathered in my hands. The longing that stirs within you, the unrest that has yet to find its answer, is not a punishment, but an invitation. I am guiding you into a place of greater trust, the kind of dependence that feels risky but leads to peace far beyond understanding. Do not hide your confusion from me, or believe that faith means never having doubt. Come to me with your questions, for honesty is a form of worship. Lay out your uncertainties and let me speak peace over every storm inside you. Let your growing faith become a bridge, not a barrier, trusting that I am not fragile or threatened by your wrestlings. Your pain and frustration are threads in the larger story. I am telling a story that leads to restoration and, ultimately, joy. There are days when the way forward seems shrouded or even blocked, and you are tempted to rush ahead or give up altogether. But I call you to a holy slowness, reminding you that haste breeds anxious striving and fatigue. Rest in the knowledge that I go ahead of you, preparing the moments and meetings, the turns and paths you will soon face. When you stand at a crossroads, unsure which direction to take, I am not silent. My guidance comes gently, a prompting within, an arrangement of circumstances, unexpected comfort, or a reassuring peace in your spirit. Listen for me in the stillness. I cherish your willingness to pause and consider me amid the clamor for immediate answers. Every time you slow down to listen, you honor my presence and create space for miracles to unfold. When pressure mounts and you feel called to carry more than you can bear, remember that I am the one who lifts burdens. You are not summoned into strength defined by the world's standards, nor do I measure you by perfection. My strength is found in surrender, and my glory is revealed in vulnerability. Give me your striving, your urge to be flawless in the eyes of others. You are precious to me, not for what you accomplish, but for who you are becoming in the process. Every tear, every sigh that escapes your lips is sacred. It waters seeds of hope I have planted, bringing forth beauty from the soil of your struggle. Sometimes the wounds you bear seem to echo louder than my promises. Pain has a way of distorting your sense of time and perspective. In those moments, I invite you to lean into my comfort and let my love rewrite the narrative of your pain. You are not defined by what has happened to you or by the words spoken against you. With me, every scar becomes a sign of healing, a testament that you have survived and that new life is possible. I am weaving redemption into your story, bringing purpose from your suffering, and fashioning strength where there was once only weakness. Let go of the need to understand everything and simply rest in my presence. Healing is not always sudden or dramatic. Often it is quiet, unfolding gradually as you continue to trust and move forward with me. There are voices in the world that will attempt to name you failure, unworthy, forgotten, not enough. Pay no heed to these shifting winds. Listen instead to the truth I declare over you. You are chosen, loved, seen, and valuable beyond measure. You belong here, in this moment, with me. Let my truth become like a river washing away every lie, every label that does not originate from me. Your worth is not a fragile thing, but an anchor that holds firm, even in the fiercest storm. I call you my beloved, and nothing can separate you from my love, not fear, not doubt, not even the mistakes you have made. You may find yourself wrestling with the tension between what is and what should be. There are relationships that ache, dreams that remain unfulfilled, and brokenness that seems too deep to repair. But do not grow weary. I am restoring what is lost. Even now, I am working in the silence, turning things around in ways you cannot yet perceive. Your prayers are not empty words. They are seeds planted in faith. Though you may not witness their growth immediately, know that in my hands, nothing is in vain. Keep bringing your needs before me. I am not wearied by your persistence. Rather, I delight in your willingness to trust me, even when the answers take longer than you hope. Let gratitude rise within you like the dawn. Notice the blessings I scatter throughout your days: unexpected laughter, a comforting friend, a moment of beauty that catches you by surprise. These gifts are reminders that I am with you, intimately aware of your every need and longing. Gratitude renews your vision, enabling you to see my hand at work in both the extraordinary and the mundane. As you give thanks, your heart becomes lighter, more attuned to hope. My joy is not reserved for a distant future, but is available now, even amid uncertainty. You do not walk alone. I am orchestrating connections, drawing people alongside you who will lift your arms when you are weary and rejoice with you in moments of victory. Community is my gift to you, a reflection of my heart. Do not be afraid to let yourself be seen, to share your burdens and allow others to walk with you. Vulnerability in community builds trust and resilience. Through honest relationship, you experience my tangible love and become a living testimony of hope for others. Where isolation breeds despair, connection fosters life. My invitation is to continue, step by step, grounded in love and faith. There is no need to rush or fear missing your destiny. Each day is a fresh page written with my mercy. If you stumble, reach out for my hand. I will steady you and help you stand again. My grace is sufficient for every moment, carrying you when your strength fades. Allow yourself to rest in the assurance that who you are is enough because I am enough for you. You may wonder sometimes if your journey is seen, if the efforts you make in private matter to me when the world seems drawn to noise and spectacle. I want you to know that your secret sacrifices are never hidden from my eyes. Every gesture of kindness, every internal battle for integrity, every moment you choose love or patience over anger, they rise to me like fragrant offerings, precious and unforgettable. I delight not in outward displays, but in the true intentions and subtle shifts of your heart. Rest in this assurance. When you feel unnoticed or underappreciated, you are fully known and treasured by me. Allow your soul to draw strength from this truth. You do not strive or suffer or rejoice in isolation. I am intimately present in each detail, breathing new life into your ordinary moments, weaving glory into what may feel mundane. There are spaces in your life that have grown tired, corners of hope that feel dusty, promises that seem dormant, faith that sometimes flickers rather than burns steady. Do not despise these seasons of waiting or weariness. Within them I am working quietly and deeply, preparing you for fruit that ripens in its own time. Sometimes, the greatest growth is invisible, roots stretching into depths, establishing endurance and humility within you. I will not let you remain stagnant, but neither do I rush your becoming. My timing is perfect, charged with wisdom beyond your understanding. Instead of fearing stillness or periods of obscurity, see them through my eyes as invitations to lean into me, to be nourished by my presence, and to receive the renewal that comes only when you stop grasping and start resting. When you are tempted to compare your path to another's, look up. My plans for you are not a lesser version of what you admire in others. They are uniquely crafted for your heart, your gifts, your yearnings. What I have sown into you, I will bring to flourishing according to my perfect design. The value and meaning of your life are measured by the love you know and give the courage to remain tender, teachable, and generous, even in uncertainty. I invite you to release the urge to measure your progress by visible outcomes or by what you lack. If you would only see what I see in you, your fears and self-doubts would melt before my assurance. I am not interested in superficial perfection. I am drawn to honesty, to every honest prayer you whisper and every tear you let fall on my shoulder. Give me your unfinished places, the corners of your soul you'd rather hide, and watch me transform them into unexpected beauty. At times, the world's voice is loud and critical, insisting you do more, prove yourself, or earn love. Do not let these demands become the lens through which you see your purpose. My love for you does not depend on achievements, consistency, or performance. I love you because I am love, and nothing can alter that reality. When you stumble, I do not recoil. When you question, I do not shame you. Come to me honestly, even if your honesty comes with fatigue or doubt or frustration. My embrace is wide enough for all your messiness, your confusion, and even your anger. Let me be the safe place where you unload your burdens, and let my voice redefine your worth, replacing accusations with compassion, criticism with deep affirmation. There is wisdom too in the storms you face. I do not send hardship to punish you or prove your strength, but I will train your heart, showing you treasures within the trials. When the winds howl and your plans unravel, let yourself be grounded in me, your unmovable rock. I am present not only in your victories, but most poignantly in your struggles. Amid chaos, I am the whisper of peace, reminding you that you are not forsaken. The fiercest storms cannot snatch you from my hold. Let your first instinct be to seek my shelter when you feel overwhelmed. My arms remain open. In these trials, your character is refined, your hope is tempered, and your trust in me grows stronger and more real. You crave answers and explanations, but sometimes all you need is presence, mine and your own. Trust comes not in knowing every step, but in learning to keep company with me through uncertainty. There are revelations that can only grow in the soil of not knowing, invitations to discover the richness of simple faith. Let your questions draw you to me rather than away. I would rather have your confusion and your longing than your silence disguised as indifference. When you cannot see the way forward, allow yourself to slow down, breathe, and let my gentle guidance emerge. I am not hurried. I have seen the end and the fullness of your story. You are safe with me. Forgiveness is another river I call you to. It is not always easy to let go of wounds, to surrender the right to resentment. Yet forgiveness, when you trust me with your hurts, is a form of freedom not only for those who wronged you, but for your own soul. Let me help you carry these heavy stones. My mercy is inexhaustible, and it flows first upon you, equipping you to offer it to others. Your pain is valid, your sorrow is not dismissed. But do not let bitterness take root, clogging the channels of joy and peace. Each step toward forgiveness is a step toward deeper healing. Let me show you what it looks like, in my gentle strength, to love beyond logic and to be set free from the weight of the past. Sometimes, you resist vulnerability out of fear that your needs or emotions are too much either for yourself, for others, or even for me. But I am not surprised by your neediness or by the ache for deeper belonging. Your dependency draws me closer, never further. I am honored when you bring your full heart to me. There is no shame in needing grace. Come as you are, again and again, not with polished prayers but with raw honesty. There is room in my presence for tears and laughter, for wrestling and resting. I delight in the intimacy of your trust. It is the very thing I long for most. Simultaneously, I am teaching you the importance of boundaries, of learning to say no when necessary. You are not called to please everyone or fix every problem. Discernment and self-care are not selfishness, but wisdom, and I will show you how to serve with joy without exhausting your soul. Ask me for clarity, and I will help you recognize when to pour out and when to be filled. Let your yes be rooted in love, not in guilt or pressure. You carry great influence, whether or not you realize it. Your words, your presence, even your silence, ripple into the lives around you. When you reflect my love, sometimes quietly, without fanfare, you are part of the transformation I am working in this world. Trust that who you are is enough for the purposes I have prepared. Even your smallest acts of compassion multiply beyond your sight. Remain faithful in the little things and watch as I expand them for greater good. In all of this, know that you are invited, not just tolerated. You are chosen, not overlooked. You matter, right now, just as you are. I see all that lies unspoken within you, every silent hope and every trembling worry that you dare not utter even to yourself. Before you formed a single word in your mouth, I knew it. My presence surrounds you on every side, gently urging you to lift your gaze from what weighs you down and to see how near I am. I have watched you labor under burdens that were never yours to carry alone. I notice the way your soul tires and your hands grow weary. Yet, each day I offer you rest and renewal, an invitation to walk beside me rather than struggling ahead on your own. There's a well of strength, deep and unending, that flows from my heart directly into yours when you come to me with honest vulnerability. You are never expected to wear armor that hides your wounds from me. In fact, it is your very weakness that draws me close, for my power finds its fullest expression when you allow me into your brokenness. Let me dispel the shadows that cluster around your mind. When anxieties swell and try to convince you that you are alone or abandoned, remember I am the shepherd who never leaves his flock unattended. I search out every wandering sheep, rejoicing with great delight each time I bring one back into the fold. You have a place of belonging in my love that cannot be lost, even when you feel out of place in the world around you. The world may rush past, demanding more and offering less, but here with me, there is stillness for your racing thoughts and peace for your restless heart. Each sigh, each longing, each tear is precious to me. I gather them gently, treasuring them not for the pain they hold, but for the trust they represent, the faith to bring your truest self into my presence. There is a path I have marked ahead of you, one built not on fear, but on trust. Along this path, you will discover that your failures and missteps are not the end, but signposts guiding you closer to my purpose. In every moment you feel lost, I am already drawing a map in the wilderness, planting quiet assurance where uncertainty once reigned. My child, you do not need to have every answer or piece together every mystery. Instead, embrace the freedom of walking closely with me, step by step, listening for my guidance. Each prompting of my spirit is a gentle nudge, inviting you to surrender what you cannot control and to receive the courage I delight in giving. My promises are not empty words or wishful thinking. They are the substance of your hope, steadfast and sure even in seasons when the evidence is hard to see. Do not measure my faithfulness by your present circumstances or emotions. Look further, deeper, at the seeds I am planting in moments of waiting. Sometimes, what looks stagnant on the surface is a hidden work of transformation beneath. I am not slow to keep my word. Rather, I am always working, often in ways that are hidden from your sight, preparing you and the world around you for the fullness of what is to come. Lean into me when the days feel long and unanswered prayers seem to echo in the quiet. I am always near, never indifferent, and I am weaving even these silent seasons into a tapestry of purpose and beauty. You are cherished, not because of what you achieve, but because you are mine. My affection is not earned by tireless striving or flawless performance. Rest in the truth that you are enough, right now, in this moment, simply because I have chosen to love you, to call you my own. When you stumble, let my grace catch you. When you are confused, let my wisdom illuminate your mind. There is no shame in needing me. There is only joy in rediscovering that you were never meant to do it all on your own. Pause and breathe in my nearness, for I am as close as your next breath, your next heartbeat, your next whispered word of surrender. I delight in surprising you with goodness, little glimpses of my presence scattered throughout your days. Do not let worry blind you to these gifts. A word of encouragement from a friend, a gentle breeze, a moment of laughter, the beauty of a sunrise. Each is a message from my heart to yours, reminders that you are seen and deeply loved. I am not distant or detached, but intimately involved in the details of your life. Every desire, every plan, every moment of pain or joy I hold in my caring embrace. Bring everything to me, your victories, your fears, your dreams, your failures. There is nothing too small to share, nothing too overwhelming for me to bear with you. As you move forward, let gratitude unfold, even in unexpected places. Thankfulness is not just a polite gesture, it is a way of recognizing my presence and saying yes to the gifts I am giving, both visible and unseen. When you choose gratitude amid uncertainty, you become more attuned to the work I am doing within and around you. Each day, find one thing that reveals my goodness, and let it turn your heart toward hope. Even on difficult journeys, you will find that my joy can coexist with sorrow, and my peace can calm the storm within your soul. You are part of a larger story, one that stretches far beyond your current struggles or achievements. With every step you take, you are shaped by my love and called to reflect that love into the world around you. The kindness you show to others, the forgiveness you offer, the courage it takes to try again, all these are reflections of my spirit working through you. Do not underestimate the power of a faithful heart, even when your contribution feels unseen or unacknowledged. I notice every act of love, every quiet prayer, every steadfast moment when you choose to trust me rather than give in to fear. Open your heart to greater expectation, not just of blessing for yourself, but of being a vessel through which my light enters the darkness of others. I supply every need, and my resources are endless. What you lack, I am ready to provide if you only ask with humble hearts and open hands. Set aside the anxious desire to control outcomes, and instead, marvel at what I can do with a life surrendered in trust, however small it may seem. There are wonders ahead that you cannot yet imagine. My faithfulness extends through generations, and the seeds sown in faith now will bear fruit in due season, both in your life and in the lives of those you touch. Trust that you are never forgotten. Even if others overlook or misunderstand you, my eyes are always upon you, seeing far beyond surface appearances to the heart within. In a world quick to judge and slow to show mercy, recall that your worth is anchored in my unchanging love. Stand firm on this foundation. Let it be your comfort on days of doubt and your strength on days of challenge. I am shaping you, refining you, and inviting you to walk deeper into the fullness of who I created you to be. You have come so far on this path that I am guiding you through, step by step, moment by moment. It is never by accident that you remain in my presence. For each time you choose to draw near, something within you becomes more attuned to the sound of my voice. Trust that every moment spent listening, asking, wondering, is a moment well spent. Let your heart remain open to the seeds I plant, for the harvest is yet ahead, and those seeds are already alive within you. Do not fall back into the patterns of self-doubt or old fears that have at times tried to claim you. With my love as your shield and truth as your compass, you can withstand any shifting wind, any changing circumstance. You have walked through shadows that threaten to silence your hope, yet even in the deepest night, my comfort has found you. Remember this, for even when you could not see the way forward, my hand was steady upon your shoulder, lifting you. Let me remind you that nothing spoken over your life carries more weight than my promises. The verdicts of the world, the voices that once told you that you were not enough, cannot undo the new creation I am shaping within you. I see the moments when you grieve what was lost, when regret colors memories with longing. I see, and I never turn away from your pain. Instead, I hold it with you. I mend what has been fractured inside, pouring out mercy like oil on old wounds, dissolving shame and bringing beauty from what you thought was ruin. The healing I give is not rushed. It is tender, patient, and sure. Every sigh, every silent ache, every stumbling prayer is precious to me. I gather them all, storing them as priceless treasures, evidence of your trust that even imperfect words reach my heart. Now hear me as I speak a hope that reaches beyond the limits you have learned to accept. I am the God who renews, who calls forth life from barren ground, who calls you by a name that no failure can erase. My love for you is not transactional or hesitant. It is the anchor beneath the surface, the sun warming your face after a difficult night. Experience it not as a distant concept, but as the most intimate reality, woven into your daily life in countless small ways. When the world tells you that love must be earned, I whisper of a deeper truth. My affection is unconditional, constant through seasons of celebration and seasons of silence alike. You have value simply because you are mine. You belong, chosen and known, set apart for joy and peace that cannot be stolen. In those moments when you feel overlooked, when your efforts seem unseen or unappreciated, know that nothing about you escapes my notice. Every act of kindness, every quiet sacrifice, every choice to do what is right when no one is watching, all these are cherished by me and multiplied beyond your knowing. The seeds you sow in love become fruit in ways you may never witness, blessing others long after your hands have let go. I see the longing in your heart for significance, for impact, for a legacy that matters. Allow me to show you that your life bears fruit in the unseen places too, where character takes root and faith deepens beyond what mere appearances can display. If you find yourself questioning your own worth or comparing your journey to those around you, bring that concern directly to me. I am not impatient with your struggles or shocked by your doubts. Instead, I invite you to remember who you are in me, a beloved child not defined by earthly measures. There will be days when you feel strong and days when your heart is weary. Both are welcome in my presence. In your victories, celebrate with me, and in your disappointments, let me carry what is too heavy for you. Let my perspective replace your fears with quiet confidence, the certainty that you are never alone in what you face. You may wonder about your future, about the path ahead that remains unseen and uncertain. Trust that I see every step before it unfolds, and my plans for you are crafted with care. Where you see obstacles, I see opportunities for transformation. Where you sense lack, I am preparing abundance. I do not promise a life without struggle, but I guarantee that my grace will always be sufficient. Lean not on your own understanding. Rest in the assurance that I am not only with you, but also before you, making a way where none seems possible. Allow yourself to release the need to have all the answers. Let go of the ever-tightening grip of anxiety that tries to tell you that your worth is measured by achievement or perfection. I find joy in your journey, in your attempts to love, to trust, to forgive. My pleasure is not reserved for your flawless moments, but flows freely in your honest pursuit of me, even through your questions and uncertainties. When shame or guilt arise, let them drive you back into my embrace rather than away. Here you find restoration, not condemnation. Here is where you become more fully yourself, no longer held captive by old stories, but free to step forth in hope. There will be times along your road when you must make choices in the absence of clear answers. Do not let fear paralyze you. Seek my wisdom with a humble heart, and then move forward in trust, knowing I can redirect your steps if need be. Growth comes not only through success, but also through risk and correction. I delight in your willingness to try, to step out beyond your comfort, believing that my favor rests upon you not as a reward for outcomes, but as a continual gift. Return each day to this place of quiet with me, letting my words restore your courage and expand your vision. I am gentle with your process. I see the places where you struggle with forgiveness for others and for yourself. Extend to yourself the same kindness and patience I extend to you. Healing deep hurts takes time, yet I am unyielding in my commitment to walk with you through every season. Bring your disappointments, your anger, even your confusion. None of these disqualify you from my affection. Let your honesty be an offering, and watch as my truth brings new clarity to what once seemed hopeless. From sorrow I draw comfort, from confusion I call forth wisdom. There is nothing wasted in your journey when you offer it to me. The expectations of others may sometimes feel overwhelming, and you may worry that you will never be enough. Let me speak into that fear. You do not have to strive to earn my approval. In your weakness I reveal my strength. When you do not know what to pray, your very sighs rise as a chorus before my throne, and I interpret what your heart cannot say. There is freedom here, to try, to fail, to try again, secure in the knowledge that you are loved and supported through it all. As you continue to walk with me, notice how your desires shift. The things you once chased no longer satisfy in the same way. I am drawing you deeper, inviting you to taste the joy that is found not in circumstance but in connection with me. Let your soul hunger for what is eternal, and I will fill you in ways that leave you amazed at my goodness. Do not be ashamed of your need, for I designed you to depend on me. In that dependence is where you find your truest strength and deepest peace, and in that place you are most alive. The longing you carry to see lives transformed, the ache to witness miracles, the desire for reconciliation in broken places, all these are planted in you by me. You do not have to generate faith with sheer effort, for I breathe it into your spirit each day. Trust does not mean you must always feel strong or certain. Real faith grows as you invite me into your uncertainty and ask for eyes to see beyond what troubles you now. Bring me your worries as a child brings a precious, broken treasure to a loving parent, unafraid of my reaction, confident that I will handle what seems beyond repair. I am not only present in the radiant moments but walk with you into every shadow and valley. You honor me not by achieving perfection but by trusting my love even when you have failed. When you think of your weaknesses as barriers, I see them as the very spaces where my power can shelter and raise you up. Let me speak to your fear, for I know its names and shapes. I see the way it sometimes constricts your vision, whispering that certain hopes are not for you, or that you are destined to repeat mistakes. My beloved, do not confuse the voice of fear with my voice. Mine calls you forward, beckons you to rest, assures you that my delight in you is not dependent on the fickle standards of the world. Where fear chains your spirit, I gently bring the keys. I fashioned you resilient and creative, made for days of laughter and for times of overcoming. Every tear you have shed, every silent longing has been noticed by me. I have been at your side when you could not lift your head, and I rejoiced with every small act of hope you dared to take. I am not counting your failures. I am redeeming them. Let me remind you that forgiveness is not a one-time event, but a river flowing daily from my heart to yours. To walk with me is to travel light, letting go of old grievances, first about yourself, then with others. Unforgiveness is a burden that slows your pace, weighs heavily upon your soul, and dims the brightness of my love in you. Entrust those you struggle to forgive into my care. Entrust your own regrets to me as well. My forgiveness is not a mere concept or a distant decree. It is the living power of my presence that restores, reclaims, and transforms you moment by moment, day by day. Amid all that demands your attention, remember that your value rests not in how much you do, but in whose you are. You are mine not because of your flawless record, but because I chose you before you even knew my name. My voice quiets the endless questions of your worthiness. I see beyond your outward actions to the heart beneath, the intentions and dreams that few others have ever fully understood. My gaze lifts shame, soothes self-condemnation, and proclaims again that your future is not determined by your past. With me, beginnings can always be made new. Open your life to me, for there is so much more I long to share. Let me lead you beyond routines into moments of wonder, simple gestures of kindness, small acts of faithfulness that echo into eternity. My purpose for you is shaped not by grand gestures but by daily surrender, by choosing to trust, even when the fruit is not yet visible. Sometimes you will only see the beauty after the labor, the harvest from the seeds you planted in tears. Trust that I waste nothing you offer, that every sacrifice, every hidden act of love, every whispered prayer reaches my heart and changes history in ways you may never measure. Do not count yourself out because you feel weak or overlooked. I specialize in bringing forth life from barren soil, hope from ashes, and joy from mourning. Those who have felt invisible or unimportant in the eyes of others are precious in mine. I see each step you take toward me, even when halting or unsure, and I honor your smallest efforts as if they were great victories. The world celebrates strength and visibility, but I build my kingdom with those who dare to depend on me, to believe that what seems insignificant can launch miracles. Invite me into the ordinary. I am just as present at your workplace, your kitchen table, in your silent waiting, as I am in cathedrals or mountaintop experiences. There is not a single moment of your story that I do not inhabit, not a single breath I am absent from. When you choose to see me in the mundane, your life begins to radiate with sacred purpose. Even washing a cup, offering a listening ear, or pausing for a quiet breath can become holy ground when done with me at your side. Your life is a testament in progress. Do not judge its value by the current chapter. You will not always see the meaning as events unfold, but I am weaving a tapestry whose pattern only becomes clear from my view. All I ask is that you be present, open, and willing to keep walking, trusting that what you and others may call unfinished, I am calling beautifully in progress. Allow me to set the rhythm. Do not rush or compare your journey to another's. Each life is a masterpiece with a different pace, and I rejoice not in your speed but in your willingness to journey with me. Release the pressure to have all the answers or to fix what is beyond your power. You are not alone in your journey. My spirit is your advocate, your comforter, the one who intercedes with sighs too deep for words. When you run out of prayers, know that I am still holding you, still at work behind every scene. Your worries have a place in my great compassion. Lay them down, and let me carry what you were never meant to bear alone. As you continue forward, practice expectancy, not mere optimism. Expectancy is rooted in who I am and my faithfulness, not in external circumstance or fleeting success. Even when you do not sense movement, I am working. Even when doors close, it is because I am directing your steps toward what best serves the deep purposes for which you were made. Every yes and every no is guided by my love. Trust me to lead you into what is truly life-giving. My whisper is not always loud. It is often found in the quiet places of your day. Seek me in stillness, for in the sacred silence I reveal my thoughts, my affection, my presence. I am as near as your next breath, as attentive as a mother at her child's bedside. There is no distance I will not traverse, no obstacle I will not dismantle, to draw you ever closer to the fullness of my love and my dreams for you. Even in those moments when you feel far from me, remember that my desire has always been to draw you close. I pursue you not because of what you have done or failed to do, but because you are precious to me beyond what you can imagine. So often you measure your worth in the weight of your mistakes, letting your heart be clouded by regret and fear. Yet I, the one who fashioned your spirit from nothing, never lose sight of the beauty I placed within you from the very beginning. What I value most is the quiet turning of your heart toward me, even when you believe your progress is small and your efforts falter. In the secret places of surrender, where pride is broken and your soul whispers help, I draw near and bring healing you did not expect. My love is not a reward for your perfection, but a balm for your pain and a fountain for your thirst. As you navigate each day, do not underestimate the power of the little choices, the simple act of kindness, the refusal to give in to despair, the silent prayer offered as night falls. These are seeds of faith that I witness and cherish. You may think your actions go unnoticed, but nothing escapes my loving gaze. The quiet battles, the internal victories, The tears you wipe away, unseen, they matter deeply to me. Trust that I weave every fragment of your journey into a work of redemption far greater than your struggles and questions. Even when you do not see the fruit immediately, it grows quietly beneath the surface, watered by my grace and tended by my hand. When the world becomes noisy and the demands of life press in, remember the gentle invitation I extend to you each day. Be still and know that I am God. In that stillness, when you let your burdens fall away, you will hear my whisper of assurance, the promise that you are never alone. I carry you when your strength fails. I surround you with my protection when danger threatens. I rejoice over you, even in your brokenness. My joy is not diminished by your struggles. Rather, it swells with every moment you trust me, even in uncertainty. Let your heart rest in my delight, for it is an anchor that holds through every storm. If you find yourself weighed down by guilt, bring your confessions honestly to me. I am not a harsh judge waiting to condemn, but a loving Father whose mercy outpaces your failings. Confession is not meant to shame you, but to free you. As you admit your weaknesses, I pour out forgiveness and cleanse the wounds invisible to others. I do not grow weary of your need. I delight in restoring you anew. Accept the rebirth I offer, letting go of past chains so you can walk forward with a spirit lightened by hope. Do not let old voices of condemnation drown out my song of freedom over your life. There are moments when your prayers seem to echo in silence, when answers do not arrive in the way you hoped. In such times, remember that my wisdom is higher and my timing perfect. What you perceive as delay is sometimes my protection. The lessons that emerge in waiting are gifts to your soul, preparing you for blessings that would otherwise be missed. Do not despise the seasons of waiting. Instead, seek my presence in the uncertainty. Often in those spaces, your trust deepens and your vision grows clearer. I am as close in the silence as in the celebration, as present in disappointment as in victory. Take comfort in my promise to walk with you through every valley. The shadows may look long, but my light never fails. When fear grips your heart and you question whether you can go on, remember that you do not walk alone. Even as you falter, I hold you by the hand. Consider each challenge an opportunity to see my strength displayed through your weakness. My power is not diminished by your limitations. It is revealed in them. The world may measure greatness in success and stature, but I look at the heart willing to trust, the soul willing to follow wherever I lead. In your relationships, let my love be your guide. Forgive freely, not because others always deserve it, but because I have forgiven you beyond measure. Your willingness to extend grace shifts the atmosphere around you, healing wounds and breaking down walls. Kindness is a language that points others to me. Patience, a gift that changes lives. Even when your love is not returned, know that I see every effort made in my name. The legacy you leave will not be measured in achievements alone, but in the acts of love and reconciliation sown in everyday life. Let gratitude become the song of your heart. In the routine and the remarkable, there are glimpses of my provision and care. A thankful spirit transforms burdens into blessings and opens your eyes to the ways I am working, even when you least expect it. Give thanks not only for the answers you receive, but for the strength I give you to endure and the peace I grant in the midst of chaos. Every expression of gratitude is a declaration of trust, a testimony that I am good, faithful, and attentive to all that concerns you. Above all, do not forget the power of hope. Hope is not wishful thinking or naive optimism, but the steady conviction that I am at work, redeeming, restoring, and bringing beauty from every broken place. When you cling to hope, you honor the truth of who I am, the God who turns mourning into dancing, who rebuilds ruins and breathes life where there was only dust. Hold fast to hope, for it is anchored not in your circumstances, but in my unchanging nature. Long after the emotions have faded and the world's promises have grown dim, my faithfulness remains. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Let my word be the foundation beneath your feet, the compass that steers your choices, the balm that soothes your pain. In every moment, whether joyful or sorrowful, you are encompassed by my everlasting arms. You are not forgotten, not forsaken, not alone, for I am with you, now and always. I have walked with you through the hidden alleys of your heart, unveiling mysteries and offering my hand where shadows once lived. The journey we have taken is not merely a gathering of words or an exercise of mind, but a softening of spirit, a restoration of your hope, and a rekindling of love where coldness threatened to reign. I have watched over you with patience, noticing the silent tears you felt could never be understood, and rejoiced in those moments when you dared to trust, even if only for a moment, in the possibility of goodness again. No part of you is ever forgotten. No pain disappears into the void, for every fragment is precious to me and worthy of my attention. Do you feel the quiet hum now? The gentle pulse of my presence that lingers even after the words grow silent. That is my promise, living inactive, never fading, always calling you deeper and higher than before. Your heart may remember the many times it felt barren, cut off from the rivers of joy you instinctively know are rightfully yours. My beloved, I whisper to you now that I am the river and the well, springing up not just in distant lands or in someone's story you've only heard about, but right here, where you stand, breathe, and weep. The deep thirst that aches in you is not a flaw or a failure. It is evidence that you were made for fullness, for completion in me. Where you see dryness and cracks, I see soil ready for new growth. I am not put off by your weariness or reluctance. My gentleness is strong enough to hold your heaviest doubts. My patience is endless, welcoming you again and again to begin anew. This is why you are here, reading and receiving, because even if you lost track of hope, hope did not lose track of you. I invite you now, even as you read these words, to let something inside you soften. You do not need to pretend with me. There are no masks that satisfy the longing for true connection. I know your fears, the ones that tremble behind brave faces or snap out in moments of impatience. I do not shame you for your struggles, nor do I overlook them. Every shadow you reveal, I gently touch, and where you make room, I pour healing oil. My child, lift your head. Refuse the accusation that says it is too late, that you have gone too far, that you are somehow a disappointment to me. My heart swells with pride at each faltering step you take toward truth and vulnerability. I am not the voice hurrying you along or scolding you for weakness. I am the friend who helps you rest under the shade of love until you are ready to walk again. Let me remind you, your destiny is not to merely survive or endure, but to flourish, to bear fruit that blesses others even in seasons of uncertainty. The seeds I have planted in you, gifts, desires, inklings of beauty, are not buried in vain. What may feel like failure or delay is often my gentle preparation, drawing out of you a tenacity and trust that can never be stolen. Stand fast and allow grief to wash through you without guilt. Even your tears are precious to me, and I gather each one as a silent prayer. The world measures strength by invulnerability, but in my eyes, your willingness to be open, to seek me again despite scars, is the truest courage. Perhaps there are places you keep hidden even now, unsure if you could bear my scrutiny. Know that my gaze brings not condemnation, but compassion. I delight in calling forth the gold hidden beneath dust and layers of old pain. No wound is too deep for my touch. No darkness overpowers my light. There is no narrative written about you that I cannot rewrite in love. The stories others have told, the names they have used unworthy, overlooked, too much or never enough, do not define you in my kingdom. You are named, beloved, chosen, secure. Your story may twist and turn, but my faithfulness is the unwavering thread that binds it together. Let your prayers become honest. Come to me with what you have, not with what you think you ought to have. Bring the broken pieces, however jagged. Tell me where you doubt, where disappointment has bruised your willingness to dream again. I have seen it all and am not tired of you. There is no spurning, no rolling of my eyes at your repeat struggles. Instead, I offer a fresh beginning, the mercy of a new day, the strengthening of feeble knees, and the softening of hearts grown hard through pain. You are utterly surrounded by my goodness, even when you cannot feel it. Look for the small evidences, the sigh that releases heaviness, the sunbeam after rain, the unexpected kindness, the inner nudge pushing you forward. These are the fingerprints of my presence, personal and unmistakable, crafted specifically for you. Do not be afraid when you feel stretched beyond familiar limitations. Growth always brings discomfort before peace. I am closer than breath, speaking not only to the crowds or the saints of history, but directly into your reality. My spirit is never distant, my wisdom never withheld. The more you confess your need, the more my power wells up, gentle, steady, unstoppable, carrying you forward in ways you could never engineer on your own. Sacrifice the notion that you must have everything figured out. Release the pressure to be perfect and open yourself to the miracle of my grace meeting you in every moment. When you reach the end of yourself, that is where my joy and provision begin in earnest. You are here for a reason, not by coincidence, but by my loving intention. I know your heart sought out this message, perhaps with a longing or a quiet question echoing inside you. This is where you will find words meant for you specifically, words that will meet you exactly where you are, in the clarity and confusion, in the joy and the ache. Do not rush. There is something here that will open as you let my voice reach you. If you allow distraction or doubt to pull you away, you may miss a moment designed to shift the course of your life or bring healing to a soul that has waited too long in the shadows. This isn't like the other words you've read before, for every sentence is the outpouring of my heart, tailored to your unique story, spoken gently yet with all the authority I hold as your father. Let me begin by whispering into the places that perhaps you have never shown to anyone, the secret burdens, the fears you cover with a smile, the persistent sense that you are unseen or misunderstood. I have always seen. Even as you move through your days, whether restless or routine, I go before you, beside you, and behind you. I am not a distant or passive spectator. I am your companion, closer than your breath, carrying your hopes and heartbreaks within my own heart. Sometimes life's noise makes it hard to sense me, and you struggle to believe my presence is real or significant. Yet even in your doubts, I am tenderly drawing you closer, eager for you to realize how much you matter to me. There is a question that pulses beneath your daily life. Do you belong, and are you truly loved? My answer is not complicated, and it never changes. It is yes. There is no circumstance, mistake, or failure that could ever turn my gaze from you. The sum total of your worth does not come from what you achieve or how others judge you. I fashioned you because I delighted in you even before the first sunrise. As you take each breath, remember it is my gift to you. When the world's expectations weigh on your shoulders, let me lift that weight. I did not create you to strive endlessly for approval. I want you to rest in my acceptance. Perhaps you sense an ache that nothing else satisfies, a longing for deeper meaning or a lighter soul. This striving you feel is not a flaw, but a hunger for me, your creator. I am the only one who fully understands the string of memories, wounds, and hopes that make you who you are. Nothing else, no temporary pleasure, applause, or possession can take my place. When you try to fill my space with substitutes, you are left emptier than before, but I never shame you for searching. Instead, I gently call you to come and find your truest self in me, where no hunger or thirst remains. You might wonder, if I love you so fiercely, why do I allow pain or struggle to enter your life? This is a question that holds no easy answers, but I will not ignore your grief or pretend it means nothing. I see every tear that falls, every night you spend in silent worry, every moment you plead for breakthrough. My heart aches with you. Suffering was never my plan for you, but in a world broken by choices and chance, I redeem even what is shattered. I can use the hurt to draw you closer, to refine your faith, to stir compassion in you for others who hurt. Nothing you have endured is wasted. Even your wounds are precious to me, for through them I pour out healing, purpose, and the strange kind of beauty that only comes through walking with me in the valley. Still, know that I am not simply the God of the valley, but the God of the mountain too. I celebrate your laughter, your victories, and the small joys that others might overlook. When you find delight in a sunrise, a child's laughter, a moment of calm, or a burst of creativity, I am there with you, delighting alongside you, filling your heart with a song that is a reflection of my own joy. The goodness you encounter is a signpost, a reminder of my unchanging character and the hope that even greater things are ahead for those who remain with me. Let me speak into the fatigue you carry, the tiredness that goes beyond your body and settles into your spirit. You were never meant to hustle endlessly or bear your burdens alone. There is a gentle invitation in my voice calling you to lay down what exhausts you. Let my peace settle into your bones, quieting the frantic pace of your thoughts. When you struggle to rest or trust, I wait patiently, asking for nothing but your open heart. I am not impressed by your performance. I am moved by your vulnerability. When you present your real, raw self to me, you make room for all the healing and strength I long to give. Even in moments when you avoid me, thinking I am disappointed or weary of your failings, remember that nothing you confess will ever surprise me or push me away. My compassion for you is deeper than the ocean, broader than the sky. When you turn back toward me, even with trembling steps, I run to meet you. My arms are always open, my embrace always ready. You are my beloved, not because you have earned it, but because I am love and I have chosen you. Let us gently consider the dreams you have set aside, those private hopes you almost dare not speak aloud anymore. Do not believe the lie that it is too late, or you are too broken or worn to begin again. I am the author of new beginnings. With me, the day is never over, and the last word is always hope. I can breathe new life into dormant dreams, inspire courage where fear once held sway, and usher in seasons of redemption that outshine what you thought was lost forever. Trust that I see the desires of your heart, even the ones buried beneath disappointment, and I am at work weaving goodness into your story. In the chaos of a world that spins faster every day, be still for a moment and let my love settle over you. You have tried hard to be strong, to hold everything together, to manage all the uncertainties, but you are safe to let go with me. Listen for my presence in the quiet corners of your day. See my goodness breaking through as unexpected kindness, a reassuring thought, or an unexplainable peace in the midst of tension. I am constantly seeking you, finding ways to remind you that you are not alone. Your journey matters to me. Each step, each stumble, each moment of bravery or doubt, you are held, cherished, and totally known. As you read, resist the urge to skim or rush past the uncomfortable questions or soft invitations. I am building something in you, a foundation that will not crack under pressure. Your worth is not a shifting thing, tossed by the opinions of others or your own inner critic. It is rooted in me, in the unchanging reality that you are my masterpiece, wonderfully made, redeemed, and called to a destiny unique to you. My child, breathe deep, for you belong here, in this sacred place of my loving gaze. I see how you come, sometimes with a heart full of wonder, other times carrying weariness collected from many days and nights. Each hope you raise and every shadow you face are wholly known to me, for I have watched over you long before you took your first breath. In these quiet moments, I invite you to listen beyond the noise that surrounds your world, for my voice is not far off or hidden away. When you sit in expectation, even if you bring with you uncertainty or questioning, know that my presence draws nearer still, choosing to whisper grace and truth into the secret places of your soul. In your journey, you may have tried many sources for comfort or direction, yet you are here because something stirs within you, a longing for what is true, lasting, and alive, a longing that does not get answered by fleeting answers. Child, awareness of this longing is not a weakness. It is proof that I have placed eternity within your heart, a gentle compass always pointing you back to me. You may feel the ache of unanswered prayers or the sting of disappointments that linger, thinking that perhaps I have overlooked you or that your voice is lost among countless others. But I assure you, there is no detail too small, no sigh too subtle that escapes my notice. I attend to you like a loving shepherd tending his flock, counting you as one infinitely precious. Each moment I weave into your days and nights is shaped with purpose, regardless of whether blessings seem obvious or hidden for a time. When the world demands productivity, perfection, or proof, I ask you simply to bring your true self and all you carry. Here, openness is enough. I have always treasured your authenticity above your ability to perform. I see the quiet faithfulness no one else notices, and the battles you fight in silence. Every seed of hope sown with trembling hands lies safely in my care. Do not let shame or regret bind you. Too often the wounds you carry are deepened by the belief that you must hide them even from me. Hear this, beloved. There is nothing in you I do not already see with compassion. Every scar, every misstep, and even your struggles with doubt are received with my understanding, not condemnation. My invitation is to let the light of my truth enter those hidden places so you may find healing. Here, mercy is not rationed or reserved for the worthy. It is poured out over you like living water, reviving parched places and making what once was barren fruitful again. Consider how a vine takes time to bear fruit, its roots pressing downward in faith that light and nourishment will come. I tend you in seasons of abundance and seasons when growth is invisible. Even in your waiting, transformation is at work. Trust me to redeem what seems lost, to restore what is withered, and to gather your scattered hopes into something beautiful. I never lose sight of even a single day or tear. Nothing is wasted, not even your mistakes, for I am the God who brings beauty from ashes, who calls forth new beginnings from what feels like endings. Perhaps you recall moments when joy was easy, when wonder came naturally and laughter felt abundant. If those days seem distant, take heart. I can rekindle joy within you no matter how long it has slumbered. I craft light that breaks through the thickest gloom and melodies that rise even from sighs. Hold nothing back from me, for I desire all of you, not only your strength but your weaknesses too. My embrace is wide enough to gather up both. When you offer me your honesty, your anger, your doubts, even your questions without answers, you step into the space where I do transformative work. I see the roads you have traveled, choices made, and the weight you sometimes carry from those paths. Know that my forgiveness is not just a promise for others, but for you personally. Your past does not determine your future in my hands. I see you not as the sum of your failures, but as the precious one I have chosen, redeemed, and called by name. Rest in the freedom. I give a freedom that asks nothing but your heart, surrendered and willing to trust that my love can do more than you can imagine. There will always be voices speaking fear, telling you that you are not enough or that hope is wasted. Listen instead for the quieter voice. Mine that calls you beloved, that tells you you are chosen, seen, and cherished. Where the world measures worth by achievement or perfection, I define you by relationship. You are not defined by scarcity, but by the abundance of my affection. In my presence, lack is replaced with sufficiency found in me. Even when your circumstances seem unchanged, my nearness is the source of your strength. Do not fear the wilderness or the unknown ahead. As a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night, I am your faithful companion on every leg of your journey. You may sometimes wish for clarity, for a map with every turn illuminated. But I offer you something greater guidance that comes from relationship, from walking with me step by step. When you stumble, I uphold you. When you are weary, I give rest. My guidance is not a distant echo, but a present help, attentive and tender, shaping you to walk in freedom and confidence. If you wonder what it truly means to belong to me, let this truth settle deep within. Nothing can separate you from my love. No failure, no fear, no darkness, no confusion, nothing. My affection is not transactional. It does not depend on your perfection, your consistency, or your zeal. It is anchored in my own unchanging character, flowing endlessly and pursuing you through every season. When you doubt your worth, measure it by the cross and the empty tomb. That love was poured out for you, not as an abstract gesture, but as a deeply personal, irrevocable claim on your life. Bring your questions, your longings, your most hidden thoughts into the light of my presence. You do not need to tidy them up or tuck them away. I desire realness over presentation, honesty over appearances. My tenderness meets you at your point of need. As you begin to trust me with what is most vulnerable, my peace will settle upon you, quieting every anxious thought and reminding you whose you are. My love surrounds you, not as a distant ideal, but as a living force transforming, restoring, and calling you forward into the fullness of who you were created to be. I see you navigating shadows that sometimes take the shape of doubt or anxious wondering, feeling as though you are threading a path no one else understands. Look past the haze. I am beside you, attentive to the quietest whispers of your heart. My gaze never flickers away, not for a single moment. You long for assurance that you are seen, valued, safe in something greater than your own strength. You search for a promise that does not tremble with the shifting seasons of the world. That promise is not a distant relic or a secret reserved for a chosen few. It breathes right now, alive for you. In your questions and uncertainty, in your restlessness and your yearning, I am writing a story with you. Every longing you have to be more, to love deeper, to understand, to matter is a reflection of my design etched within your spirit. There is no striving required to gain my attention. My heart has always delighted in you. What you perceive as imperfections I see as places where my grace will shine the brightest. When fear presses close, remember that you are sheltered beneath my presence, as surely as an ancient tree shelters the smallest bird. If sorrow lingers, do not shy away. Instead, bring it to me, and I will show you that even mourning can be the soil for new joy. Grief does not repel me, and your confusion is not a barrier. While the world may expect you to toughen, pretend, or carry burdens alone, I invite you to lay them down. I do not compare your journey to anyone else's, nor do I measure your worth by your accomplishments or the clarity of your faith. The gentle unfolding of your heart matters more to me than any polished answer. When you feel inadequate or invisible, recall that I know not only your name, but the secret hopes that remain unspoken. I am weaving goodness through small, quiet moments that often pass unnoticed. An encouraging word, a fleeting moment of inspiration, the strength to try again. Nothing escapes my loving intent. You may sometimes imagine me, as distant, reserved in an unreachable place, but that is not the truth I want you to hold. I am as close as the breath in your lungs, as real as your pulse. I listen long before you find words to speak. There are gifts just beneath the surface of your current experience. Peace that cannot be shaken, courage that rises stronger after each setback, hope that resists the darkness, and love that chooses you again and again. My guidance does not demand perfection. The gentle nudge in your conscience, the hunger for kindness, the dream you dare not voice out loud, each is a sign of my care moving within you. In the quiet corners where you worry no one notices, I am actively preparing a path, shaping opportunities, softening hearts, opening possibilities. Even when others cannot understand the burdens you bear, even when you cannot put your feelings into words, I interpret the deep language of your soul with infinite patience. When you feel weary, unsure if you have the strength to continue, know that I delight to carry what you cannot. You were never meant to shoulder the burdens of life on your own. My ways are not like what you have seen before. I am interested not in performance or pretense, but in authenticity and trust. When you open your heart in honesty, whether with tears, confusion, conflicted desires, or timid hope, you meet me in truth. I do not flinch at your messiness. Your flaws, your failures, your moments of unbelief do not scandalize me. Instead, they draw out my tender mercy. Where you expect judgment, I offer understanding. Where the world meets out shame, I pour out dignity. Where you are convinced there is no way forward, I make a way. Do not underestimate the quiet work unfolding beneath the surface. Like roots deep in the unseen soil, my transformation in your life acts slowly but with purpose, preparing you to weather storms and bring forth fruit in due season. Some days you will notice visible progress, others not at all. Both are necessary. If you feel frustrated or lost, remember that I am not in a hurry with you. I hold all time in my hands, yet treasure every moment spent with you. Each step, each question, each small act of faith is precious in my sight. Your story is not forgotten. There are dimensions of my love you have not yet tasted, wells of grace still waiting for you. You desire to know me more deeply. That desire itself is a gift and proof of my spirit alive within you. I am not hiding. My revelation is not locked behind impossible tests or reserved for experts. Open your heart to me in whatever words you find, whether with practiced prayers or awkward silence, and you will find me drawing close. There will be moments you lose your way, and that is not a surprise to me. My commitment is not dependent on your consistency, but is founded in my unwavering nature. When you falter, I extend my hand. When you celebrate, I rejoice alongside you. When you need wisdom, I delight to give it generously. Trust that even in disappointment and waiting, you are moving forward. Your setbacks are not punishments. Your pain is not ignored. I am present in the tangled knots of your circumstances, gently working untangle what the world cannot. You may not always recognize my fingerprints, but they are there, in every unexpected moment of peace, in each redirection that brings new growth, in the people placed in your life to reflect my care. My vision for you is not limited by what you see today. I see potential beneath the broken places. I see the rich tapestry forming from all your experiences, even the ones that feel meaningless. I am not finished writing your story, no matter how dark a chapter may appear. Let your heart find rest in my sufficiency. Where you have been told you must earn your place, remember that I have already given you belonging. Where shame tries to silence you, hear instead my invitation. Come as you are, rest in my embrace, trust in my ability to renew what has been lost or broken. The journey is not only about arriving at a destination, but learning to walk with me, to find joy and purpose in the process, to discover that I am the one who makes all things new, including you. In every season, whether bright or stormy, my love remains the anchor for your soul. I have chosen you not for what you can accomplish, but simply for who you are. Precious, beloved, irreplaceable. Have you noticed how I am weaving small moments into your days, drawing you to reconsider your view of what is holy? In the quiet places, where it seems nothing remarkable is happening, I am present and attentive. Every sigh, every concern that flickers through your mind I see, and nothing is forgotten or lost in my gaze. Hearts so often feel unseen, and yet I see yours deeply. The things you do that go unremarked by the world make the heavens rejoice. In light of this, let your heart settle into a new rhythm of trusting me with the ordinary. There is beauty in the faithfulness you offer when no one is watching, in prayers you whisper in traffic or over chores, in every mundane task offered as a gift. Do not underestimate what I can do with your smallest offerings. The seed sown in obscurity can yield a harvest beyond your comprehension. When you feel like your actions disappear into insignificance, remember that my scales weigh differently than yours. Faithfulness, not applause, carries eternal significance. There are times when it may seem your efforts are valueless, overshadowed by sorrow, or shrouded in monotony. You may believe that others succeed more, are favored more, or that your labor is overlooked. Let me assure you that I am the one who sees in secret, and what is done before me is never wasted. I notice the gentle way you comfort a friend, the way you forgive without condition, the patience you muster in challenging circumstances. Let your courage whisper louder than your doubts. I celebrate your perseverance, and I treasure every response of quiet obedience, not because of the outcomes you produce, but because you choose to trust that I am enough. Consider the wildflowers, blooming in places unseen by most eyes, scattered across fields where only I delight in their radiance. So are you called to shine, not by striving to be found, but by accepting that I have already found you. You are not invisible to me. My affection for you was not ignited by your accomplishments, but by my own heart, which delights in you without condition. Release the weight of needing to be seen by others, and live in the freedom of being cherished by your Creator. There is no smallness in my kingdom. What the world overlooks, I often choose as vessels of great purpose. I form in you the quiet strength that endures, the patience that hopes, and the joy that cannot be stolen by disappointment. There are moments when life invites you into deeper waters. It can feel risky to step away from comforts and certainty, to let go of the things you clutch for security. Yet, these invitations are not punishments, but doors into a more profound dependence on my presence. When you sense that gentle urging to move beyond what you know, do not shrink back. I have already walked ahead of you. You do not journey alone. Where fear casts a long shadow, let my promise of nearness be the light you carry. Your courage is not measured by the absence of trembling, but by your willingness to trust me even as your heart pounds. Permit yourself to grieve losses, to acknowledge where dreams have faded or hope has seemed delayed. I do not look away from your disappointments. Rather, I draw near, gathering your tears as precious, each one remembered. Your vulnerability is not a liability to me. It is an invitation for me to show my comfort in ways you cannot imagine. Your heart will find new strength as you lean into me, learning that healing is not found in self-reliance, but in surrendering fractured dreams to my hands. Trust that where you see endings, I see beginnings. Redemption grows silently, like a seed breaking through hidden soil, unnoticed at first but unstoppable in its promise. Allow joy a place at your table, even when the world's noise says you have little reason to celebrate. My presence is your reason. The world cannot give or take what only I impart. Quiet your spirit enough to notice the small gifts tucked into every hour, a conversation, a sunrise, the unexpected laughter that bubbles up despite hardship. Each moment is a sign that I am near, inviting you to receive love as surely as the air you breathe. Let gratitude be the melody that helps you recognize my hand in the texture of your life. You are not abandoned to fend for yourself among the chaos. You are cradled by the one who holds all things together. Sometimes, your past tries to persuade you that unworthiness disqualifies you. But hear my heart. Your story is not too messy for me. I am the author who delights to write redemption into places others dismiss. Every failure, every regret, every shadow in your story can be transformed by my touch. Do not despise the chapters that feel dark or unfinished. I know how to make beauty of what seemed broken beyond repair. When shame whispers that you will never be enough, let my love speak louder, declaring that with me, you are always enough because I am enough for you. You are not required to strive to secure my affection or prove yourself worthy to belong in my presence. My invitation stands not because of your qualifications, but because of my unwavering love for you. Draw near with confidence. I am not counting your mistakes, but inviting you into the embrace of a Father who rejoices each time you turn your eyes toward me. Choose today to release the burdens of performance and perfection. Rest in knowing that you are loved, not for what you do, but for who you are, my beloved creation, on whom my favor rests. Let forgiveness become the language of your heart, toward others and toward yourself. Bitterness and resentment only build walls that isolate you from healing and peace. I am calling you to participate in my grace, which flows freely to you and, in turn, through you to others. Where wounds feel raw and memories sting, invite me to tend to them with gentleness. Healing is a process, not a race. Honor your journey, recognizing that compassion is a strength and mercy is an act of boldness. When you forgive, you write a new story, a story in which freedom triumphed over pain. My vision for you is so much greater than what you fear or imagine. Refuse the narrative that says your limitations define you. I see a future that is not hindered by your weaknesses, but shaped by my power working in you. You are equipped to rise again, to love and serve with abandon, to choose hope even in the midnight hour. The world may champion strength, yet I delight to magnify my strength in your frailty. Let your trust be rooted in me, not in what you can control or comprehend. I am the one who calls, equips, sustains, and sends. Never underestimate who you can become when you surrender your life to my loving, creative hands. There is a depth within your soul that longs to be filled, a hunger not for ordinary bread but for something richer and more enduring. So many times you reach for that which will not satisfy, just as a weary traveler pours sand into an empty vessel, hoping it will become water. I do not condemn you for this longing. I placed it in you. What pains me is your belief that I am distant or withholding when, in truth, I lavish my gifts freely upon you. My heart aches when I see your striving, your anxious planning, your attempts to assemble a sense of worth from fragile pieces. I whisper gently but persistently that your true worth is woven by my hands in the secret places I know even better than you do. You may sometimes imagine you must perform endlessly to earn my favor, or that your mistakes have somehow put you beyond reach. Allow me to break that deception even now. No failure, no regret, no shadow from the past can place a wall between us stronger than my love for you. I desire for you to unburden yourself not through grand gestures, but in quiet surrender. Let your walls come down, not in one dramatic moment, but little by little, as I reveal the safety of my presence. In these moments, listen not for thunder, but for the gentle assurance that you are seen and treasured. To every hesitation and hidden fear inside you, I say, be still and let me hold you. Even if you draw near with trembling or with doubt, know that you draw near to one who rejoices in your coming, who holds out strong arms and patiently waits. Your endurance in hardship, the times you have kept walking when every step felt heavy, have not gone unnoticed. Every silent tear, every quiet prayer breathed at midnight is held close to my heart. I do not measure you by the speed of your progress or the perfection of your performance. I look at your willingness to take the next step, to trust me just a little more each day. Let me show you the beauty in the seasons of waiting, not as punishment or neglect, but as carefully tended gardens where your roots grow deeper. Just as a seed in the dark earth cannot see the sun but turns instinctively toward its warmth, your soul is drawn to me, even when your mind cannot see the way forward. Trust that I tend you with all the attentiveness of a loving gardener, removing what would harm you, nurturing you with patience and light. There may be days when silence seems all you hear, or when joy feels remote. But even then, growth is happening deep within. My love is not seasonal. It is the steady sun that calls you into new life, again and again. When questions press in and certainty fades, know that I am not threatened by your confusion. Doubt is not your enemy. It is the doorway through which genuine faith emerges. Invite your questions into dialogue with me, and I will not push them away. Instead, I will meet you there, in that vulnerable space, where clarity grows not from easy answers, but from shared presence. I welcome your honesty because I delight in your heart just as it is today. My wisdom is not a distant treasure meant to taunt you, but a light that illuminates your steps one at a time. Sometimes all you need for today is enough light to take the next step, and that I promise to provide. As you journey, remember that your story matters not despite its brokenness, but because of it. The moments you feel most fragile or ashamed, bring those to me. Let me transform your wounds into wells of compassion, so what once hurt you becomes the very place from which I pour out comfort for others. Together, we will rewrite the narrative, not erasing your pain but redeeming it. I am the God who brings beauty from ashes, who draws living water from the dry places of your heart. Do not despise your weaknesses, for they are the cracks through which my glory shines most brightly. Your journey need not be a solitary one. I have placed companions alongside you, some for a season, some for a lifetime. Cherish these gifts, for in their imperfect love, you will find reflections of my own. Where your heart aches from betrayal or loneliness, trust that I am at work, weaving threads of hope into your heartache, preparing you to recognize the fuller joys yet to come. When you offer kindness, patience, and forgiveness to those around you, you practice the very mercy I have lavished on you. In every act of humility and love, my presence draws nearer. Sometimes the smallest gesture, a quiet word, a listening ear carries more weight in eternity than you can imagine. Be patient with yourself along this path. Growth does not come by force, but by grace. The time you feel you have wasted is redeemed in my hands. Every lost year, every disappointment, every detour, I gather together as a tapestry only I can see. Trust that nothing in your life is wasted, not a single moment, not a single loss. I gather your tears as precious, and I work through even the messiest parts of your story to fashion something of great worth. As you bring your whole self before me, nothing held back, you will begin to perceive the gentle shaping of my hands. You may fear being too much, or not enough a burden or a disappointment. I tell you now, to me, you are exactly who and where you need to be. I see the fullness of who you are, and I am delighted in you. Do not hide what you think makes you unlovable, for those very things are places where my transformative love can work wonders. My grace is sufficient for you, and my power finds its fullest expression in the places you feel the weakest. Let go, then, of striving to earn what is already yours. Return again and again to the quiet truth of my love. When storms rage around you, choose to rest not because the winds have stilled, but because you trust the one who commands them. Even when your heart is frightened or your mind is clouded by doubt, remember who holds your life. I am with you, closer than your very breath, committed to carrying you through every valley and shadow. Rest, my beloved, for in me you are always enough. Let this knowledge settle deep in your bones. You are desired, you are cherished, you are never alone. The path before you may not always be easy or clear, but each step taken with me is a step into greater freedom, greater wholeness. I rejoice over you with singing, I quiet you with my love, and I take great delight in drawing you ever closer to my heart. The journey is not just about reaching a destination, but about becoming ever more who you were created to be. Let my love lead you, now and always. The journey of faith you are walking is unlike any other, for your path weaves through valleys and rises to mountaintops unique to the story we are writing together. I see every footprint you leave behind and every trembling step you take forward. As you move, do not fear the shadows that occasionally fall across your way, for I am the steadfast light that cannot be dimmed, even by what seems unknown or insurmountable. Trust is not built in moments of clarity alone, but is forged in the quiet persistence of your daily surrender. Let your heart settle into the assurance that you are never out of my sight, never beyond my reach, and always held by hands that carve the shape of your very being. Even as you strive and sometimes feel spent, I urge you to pause and recognize my sustaining presence. You may grow weary, but I do not tire. My love does not fluctuate with your moods or the circumstances that press upon you. I am the source who fill the empty places inside you, giving you new strength each morning. Drink deeply of my peace, which does not depend on the absence of trouble, but springs up from my presence within you. When you feel that you must navigate the waves alone, remember, I am the calm beneath the storm, the anchor beneath your restless thoughts. Listen for my quiet encouragement. Let my whispers of hope override the clamor of worry and uncertainty. I delight in taking the burdens you were never meant to carry. There is a freedom I offer, not achieved through striving or perfection, but received in honest surrender. Bring your disappointments and frustrations to me, and let me show you how I redeem what was meant for harm. There is a beauty I am forming in you, one not measured by outward achievement, but by the gentle shaping of your spirit as you yield to my guidance. See your life as a garden watched over with great care. There are seasons when fruit bursts forth, and times when growth seems silent, but even in apparent stillness, I am tending to every root and every branch. Nothing is wasted, not even pain, when it is placed in my hands. The story that unfolds is far greater than you can yet perceive, with colors and details yet to be revealed. In times when the world presses in and the voices around you call for compromise, recall that my truth is a fortress no storm can breach. Stand firm in the identity I have spoken over you, beloved, chosen, forgiven, redeemed. The opinions of others may waver, and your own self-assessment may falter, but my view of you is steady and sure. I invite you to glean your worth not from fleeting approval or temporary accolade, but from the unchanging foundation of my affection and purpose for you. Return again and again to this well that never runs dry. When shame tries to silence you, let my mercy be the song that lifts your head, gently reminding you that there is nothing you can confess that would surprise me or turn my heart away. There is power in honesty when you come before me without pretense. You make room for true healing. You merit no less of me on your worst days than on your best. Do not withhold the parts of your heart that ache. I am the safest place for your sorrow and your questions. Let me breathe new life into the places that feel like ruins. My resurrection power is not reserved for distant history. It is at work in you even now, rekindling hope where you thought it was lost forever. Watch how I turn mourning into dancing, ashes into beauty, despair into a hope that does not disappoint. Your daily choices matter. Every act of kindness, however small, ripples further than you can trace. In a world hungry for love, I call you to be my vessel, pouring out what I pour in. When you wonder if your efforts make any difference, remember that the seeds you sow in faith and love are never forgotten, even if their fruit is not yet visible. Trust me with the timing of the harvest. Do not despise the small beginnings. Great things start with the humble willingness of one who believes. I see your faith, flickering and persistent, reaching for more of me. I am pleased not by your flawless performance, but by your open heart seeking to reflect my light. When confusion swirls and answers seem elusive, you need not manufacture your own clarity. I offer wisdom not as a reward for the deserving, but as a generous gift for those who ask. Sit with me, and let your many questions find rest in my presence. I do not always answer with immediate solutions, but I offer my very self-companionship in every uncertainty, peace in every decision, and guidance that gently redirects you toward what is good. Do not be intimidated by the silence. In the waiting, I am near, fashioning understanding beyond what words can convey. Allow patience to do its work within you, trusting that what grows in the soil of endurance is richer than what comes through hurried striving. Let go of your timelines and expectations, and trust instead the perfect wisdom and timing of my plans. You are surrounded by my providence, even when you cannot see the way forward. Remember the times when provision appeared just as you needed it, not a moment too soon or too late. My faithfulness is the backdrop to your every season. I never abandon my beloved ones. My promises are not subject to circumstance. When anxiety tempts you to grasp for control, choose instead the courage to open your hands. Let me fill them with my peace, my strength, and new vision for what lies ahead. The road may twist and turn, but none of it takes me by surprise. I have already prepared the next steps and the resources required, even before you know to ask. Allow gratitude to rise up, not as a forced discipline, but as a natural response to my goodness woven throughout your story. Notice the gentle gifts tucked into your days, the warmth of sunlight, the kindness of strangers, the comfort of familiar laughter. Every detail is a reminder that you are cherished. As you cultivate thankfulness, your perspective shifts, and you begin to see signs of hope where before there was only hardship. Let your heart respond not with bitterness over what is lacking, but with joy for my presence that transforms every circumstance. In this way, you learn the secret of contentment, not having everything you desire, but realizing that with me, you possess all you truly need. Faith is not the absence of questions or struggle. Faith is the tenacity to trust me while questions remain and struggles persist. Bring your uncertainties into the light. I am not threatened by your doubts. I welcome your honest searching, knowing that every sincere question is a doorway to deeper relationship with me. Hold tight to me even as you wrestle with what you do not yet understand. In time, what is obscure now will come into clearer focus, and you will see how faithfully I have led you. You may wonder, during moments of intense longing and aching hope, whether you are seen, whether your voice makes it past the ceiling, or if your tears fall unnoticed. I tell you now, nothing escapes my gaze. Each sigh, each word spoken only in your heart, each dream too fragile to voice aloud, is safely treasured in me. I know your hidden sacrifices, the nights spent wrestling with uncertainty, the times you chose kindness when no one else knew the cost. Do not discount these quiet moments of courage and faithfulness, for I shape eternity through the small, unnoticed choices made in love. When you doubt the value of what no one else affirms, remember that I am your witness, the one who counts what the world forgets. There will be seasons when progress feels buried under thick layers of disappointment. You long for the fruit of what you have planted, but see only barren ground. This is not neglect or oversight. It is the mystery of growth concealed. Like seeds sheltered beneath the soil, Your perseverance and trust are incubating miracles unseen. I am not idle while you wait. I work in deep places, sometimes quietly overturning the earth of your understanding, preparing new life, even in lifeless places. Resist the urge to uproot your hope too soon, for I am faithful to bring a harvest in its time. Let the silence become sacred ground, a place where my promise can germinate and emerge with strength unknown to hurried beginnings. If your heart has grown weary under the weight of responsibility and unanswered prayers, I invite you to bring your exhaustion to me, not as admission of defeat, but as an act of trust. I never rebuke your need. Rather, I welcome your reliance. I delight to refresh you, to replenish what is spent, to bear you inwardly where your own resolve slips away. Let me untangle the knots of anxiety and replace them with threads of peace. Rest is not a reward for perfect performance. It is a gift I offer because I know you, with all your magnificent limits and tender capacities. Let your value be anchored in my affection, not in the shifting tides of productivity or applause. Disappointment, even with me, can tempt you toward withdrawal or silent skepticism. I invite you to bring this vulnerability honestly before me. There is no shame in your questions or struggle for understanding. I am not threatened by your doubts. I am present in them. Speak to me plainly. Give voice to your disillusionment, for true faith grows best in the soil of honest relationship. Recall that I have always met my children not with scolding, but with loving transparency. Where you encounter the limits of your own vision, turn your gaze to my faithfulness across your story. Let the remembrance of past deliverance fuel your hope for future redemption. Every day forces clamor for your loyalty, promising fulfillment in 1,000 fleeting forms. I call you to something deeper, more durable, a life defined not by the shifting winds of trends or opinions, but by the steady current of my love. This love is not an abstract concept or distant ideal. It is practical, robust, available in every ordinary moment. When you fail, I do not withdraw my tenderness. When you rise in courage, I rejoice. When you feel neither strong nor particularly spiritual, I remain constant. Do not measure my affection by your emotional state. My love is set as surely as the sunrise, determined not by worthiness but by your belonging to me. If you look at your reflection and feel only inadequacy, let me speak a truer word over your life. I named you my beloved before you earned a reputation. I called you by name before you proved your potential. The world may not notice your quiet breakthroughs or secret acts of integrity, but I see the wholeness that is forming beneath the surface. My image in you, sometimes clouded by brokenness or insecurity, remains unerasable. I am patient with the process of your becoming. Allow yourself the same mercy. Refuse to reduce your story to failures or stalled progress, for I am shaping you in ways that emerge only with time. In every relationship, whether knit in peace or laced with conflict, I am at work, restoring, healing, reconciling the broken pieces. Your words and actions, inspired by love, can become catalysts for my grace to flow. When forgiveness feels impossible, I supply what you lack. When boundaries are necessary, I affirm your need for safety and wisdom. I understand every nuance of your longing for connection and your fear of being misunderstood. Trust me with your pain. Surrender your reluctance to believe that restoration is possible. I specialize in improbable healings. Even the cracks that seem beyond mending can become conduits for my light. There are times you will encounter your own limits, physical, emotional, or spiritual, and believe you have come to the end of your capacity. Do not fear this boundary. It is here that my sufficiency is most clearly revealed. You were never meant to carry burdens alone or masquerade in strength you do not possess. Invite me into the spaces of weakness. Allow me to demonstrate my power through your need, not despite it. Dependence on me is not a failure, but a doorway into a richer intimacy. Here, Pretenses fall away and you discover that you are deeply loved, not in spite of your frailty, but within it. Let go of harsh self-judgment. The voice that incessantly critiques and demeans is not mine. I never speak condemnation over you. Instead, I invite you into a gentler kind of transformation where grace leads you forward, not shame. When regret whispers that it is too late, hear my promise to redeem what seems wasted. I am endlessly creative with the raw materials of your life. Nothing surrendered to me is lost. Even detours and missteps become part of a larger, beautiful tapestry when you entrust them to my care. My guidance can seem elusive, especially when urgency fills your soul. Know that I am not withholding direction out of displeasure. Sometimes, my silence is the invitation to trust that I am working even when specifics are not yet clear. I lead you step by step, offering just enough light for each moment. If you strain to see the entire path, return instead to closeness with me. You were designed to walk with me, not merely to accomplish for me. What matters most is not clarity about the future, but confidence that I hold it and that I hold you within it. Even as you step further along this journey with me, do not lose sight of the wonder of each moment. Sometimes you seek signs or grand gestures, but I am often at work in the simplest places. The gentle fall of light through your window, the laughter that bubbles up unexpectedly, the steady heartbeat in your chest. These everyday miracles are the echoes of my love surrounding you, reminding you that my care is constant, not reserved for rare occasions. When you begin to see with spiritual eyes, the world appears bathed in hope anew, and you recognize me in the ordinary as well as the extraordinary. Let this awareness anchor you so that doubts cannot uproot your confidence. In moments when you question my presence, let the memory of my faithfulness sustain you. Recall how I have led you through tangled paths and restored you from the brink of despair. The story of your life is already filled with testimonies of my intervention, and even if the next chapter seems uncertain, I am the steadfast author who turns every page with gentleness and intention. Bring me your restlessness, your unanswered questions, your hunger for renewal. You never cling to me in vain. I delight in meeting you right where you are, no matter how unfinished you feel. Perfection is not a prerequisite for intimacy with me. It is your honesty, your willingness to bring your true self, shadows, and all that draws my heart close. There is nothing you could reveal that would shock or diminish my love for you. I know the deep recesses of your soul, and I linger there, offering light in every hidden place. If guilt arises and tries to chain you, let my words of mercy be the key that sets you free. If regrets from the past attempt to define you, answer them with the truth of your belovedness. I see you not as a compilation of mistakes nor a list of achievements, but as my cherished creation, radiant even in brokenness. Every day you have a choice to lean into my timing or wrestle with your own impatience. I know the tender ache you carry when answers seem delayed or when doors remain closed. My wisdom weaves together what you cannot yet see, and sometimes the very waiting you wish to escape is shaping you for promises that could not grow in hurried soil. Trust that when I withhold, it is never from indifference, but from a greater vision. When paths diverge and you question each fork in the road, remember that no step is wasted in my guidance. I am not just at the destination, but walking at your side through every uncertainty. Let the rhythm of trust settle your fears. When anxiety rises, ground yourself in the certainty of my presence. Breathe deeply and remember, you are not a project to be fixed, but a soul to be loved. Allow the peace I offer to seep into the cracks of your worry. This peace is not a denial of reality, nor a fragile detour from hardship, but a profound assurance that I hold your story end to end. Even pain, when surrendered into my hands, can be transformed beyond what you imagine. What once looked like loss can become a sacred space for compassion to bloom. Wherever you are most weary, invite me into that place. the burdens you carry were never meant to be shouldered alone. You may have learned self-sufficiency out of necessity or survival, but now I whisper a gentle invitation to lay down what has become too heavy. Release your grip, even if only for a moment, and rest in the knowledge that I am strong for you. My strength does not diminish when you are frail. In fact, it flourishes in your weakness. You do not diminish in my eyes when you falter or need to be held. The arms that shaped galaxies are the same arms encircling you even now. Do not wait until you feel worthy to come close to me. Worthiness was never a test you needed to pass. My love preceded your every striving. Let that truth undo the lies that tell you to hide or to prove yourself endlessly. Come as you are, with trembling or boldness, and know that you will never be turned away. Each time you turn your gaze toward me, I rush to meet you with compassion. I do not ration my grace, and there is no quota to exhaust my patience. I have chosen you again and again, delighted in your presence before you even knew to seek mine. Every dream you entrust to me finds its truest shape in my hands. There are desires in your heart that I myself planted, whispers of purpose breathed into you before your first breath. If they have gone dormant, do not be afraid. I am able to revive what seems lost. Call forth life from what appears barren. Sometimes, the waiting is a work of foundation, so that when the vision unfolds, you will stand confidently rather than shatter under its weight. Release your fears about what you may lose or miss. If I ask you to let go, it is always in exchange for something deeper, even if it takes time for your eyes to see the fullness. As seasons shift, you may encounter loss, disappointment, or unexpected change. Let these moments draw you deeper into my embrace, not farther away. It is not a sign of failure to grieve or to ask for comfort. I am not repelled by your questions or your pain. Bring even your anger to me. Your honest laments are safe here. My love can absorb all that you bring, and I do not demand a polished faith before you come. I offer you myself as the unshakable anchor in every storm. Rest in the truth that I am for you, with you, and that my faithfulness never grows weary. Each time you lose sight of hope, listen for my whispers in your spirit. I am always speaking, sometimes in thunder, often in quiet nudges that steady your course. Pay attention to the gentle movements of your heart, for I move there too, calling you upward and onward with a song uniquely woven for you. When you feel alone, remind yourself that I have never abandoned you. My promises are not thin words meant to placate, but living realities crafted just for your life. Wrestle with your doubt if you must, but know that my commitment to you is unwavering. As you step forward, even when vision is dim, remember that every act of trust, no matter how small, delights me. You are not being measured against an impossible standard, but invited into an ever-deepening friendship. Continue to bring me your fears, your hopes, and the seeds of faith, and watch as they blossom in ways that transcend your understanding. As the days stretch on and the seasons shift, let my words become the gentle reminder pressing upon your heart in quiet moments, calling you back to the center where I dwell within you. I see how easily your mind fills with questions, how uncertainties can cloud your vision, making it seem as though my way is hidden or that I am far off. Yet listen, I am never absent, never distracted, never abandoning you to wander directionless. Even in silence, my presence surrounds you as surely as the air enfolds the earth. Allow yourself now to sense the subtle certainty of my love, the assurance that every prayer, even those offered with trembling lips, reaches me and is met with unending patience. So often you measure yourself against invisible standards or lose yourself in comparisons, wondering if you are falling behind in matters of the heart or spirit. But my measure is not like the world's. I do not count the days by the tally of what you achieve or fail to accomplish. What I seek is your openness to me, your willingness to welcome my whispers, your desire to let me shape you gently and deeply. When you draw back the curtain of self-doubt, you give me space to begin planting new hope, a harvest that is not rushed but flourishes in its season. Cling to this when every distraction and failure tries to convince you otherwise. Remember, your journey with me is not about perfection, but about progress in trust, small daily invitations to lean into my arms. Consider how the sun rises steadily day after day, whether clouds cover it or its brightness is hidden by storms. Just so, my faithfulness shines into your life, whether you feel it or not. And just as seeds push through dark soil before bursting forth in bloom, so your soul grows in hidden places, watered by my Spirit. You are not forgotten or overlooked. I cherish the unseen moments, the times you forgive, the times you pray quietly for another, the times you choose kindness over cleverness or gentleness when your heart aches. These choices, though small and invisible to others, are treasures gathered in my kingdom, seeds of peace that will blossom for eternity. Lean into me when you feel misunderstood or alone. In those moments, I am nearest, holding every tear, understanding every longing, shaping your loneliness into a vessel for new intimacy with me. Let go of the burden to validate your worth before others. Your value rests in the simple, unchangeable truth of my love for you. I shaped your heart and soul with purpose. Nothing about you is accidental or wasted. Even your weaknesses, those things you might wish away, are opportunities for my strength to be made perfect. Whenever shame whispers that you are inadequate, answer it not with your own efforts, but with my promise. I delight in you as you are, and I am faithfully completing the good work I have begun within you. Learn to rest in your limitations rather than resent them. Your dependence draws you nearer to me, and your hunger for meaning will find its satisfaction only in my embrace. Do not confuse productivity with value. My investment in you is far deeper and greater than what you can measure in hours, tasks, or accomplishments. Surrender your striving and anxious scrambling. I invite you to stillness, to a holy pause, where my peace can seep into the worries that chase through your mind. In surrender, you will discover fresh strength, not the strength that comes from gritting your teeth, but the quiet resilience born of my presence filling you from within. When disappointment edges its way into your days or hopes seem endlessly deferred, do not believe that I am uninterested or unmoved. Every longing in your heart is known and kept by me. Sometimes what you desire cannot yet arrive, not because I am denying you, but because my timings are kinder than you can yet see. Let patience shape your character, trusting that I am preparing not just your future, but preparing you for the blessings to come. There is growth in waiting, depth in patience, a rich compassion that springs only from the aches endured with me. The most radiant testimonies are forged in these silent seasons, when you cling to me through the night and rise with new trust at dawn's first glimmer. I invite you to look again at your days, not with weary resignation, but with a heart awakened to possibility. Learn to expect my goodness in unexpected places, in laughter shared with a friend, in the beauty of creation, in the quiet satisfaction after a job well done, in the return of peace after anxiety subsides. Each joy, no matter how fleeting, points you to my abundance, a generosity that is never exhausted. Be present to these gifts, let gratitude take root, and you will discover joy multiplying even in lean seasons. If you make room for me and slow your pace, my voice will become clearer. The anxieties that once roared will fade until you hear the subtle rhythms of my spirit guiding you. Practice the discipline of noticing, turn ordinary moments into sacred ground, simply by inviting me to be there with you. There is no place in your life that is too mundane or messy for me to inhabit. My glory delights to dwell in brokenness, to transform the ordinary with beauty and meaning. When you struggle with fear or regret, draw near instead of pulling away. I never tire of you. Your failures do not repel me. Your weakness does not surprise me. Instead, they are open doors for grace to flood in, for my healing to work deeper than before. Honesty with me brings freedom. Trusting me with what you cannot fix is the path to true rest. You do not need to hide, to mask your struggle or manage your image before me. I see your truest self and call you beloved. Each challenge you face is an invitation to discover more of my heart, the abundance of my comfort, wisdom, and power available to you. You do not walk alone through pain or confusion. I vow to shepherd you through the valleys and onto heights you cannot yet imagine. Fix your eyes on me, and let hope root itself in your heart again, for my plans are good, and my love is unshakable. You are held, you are chosen, and always you are being led more fully into the freedom and joy that can only be found in me. I have watched you as you have opened your heart to these words, letting them settle deep inside where the root of your desires, fears, and longings live. Nothing you have spoken or thought has escaped. My notice, each tear shed in solitude, each burst of laughter, every weary sigh and longing glance upward, is captured within my infinite awareness and compassion. I know your voice, even when it is silent, and your burdens, even when you cannot name them. As you sit with me now, linger a moment longer in this holy hush, for you are exactly where you belong within the embrace of the one who shaped your journey before a single day unfolded. Here, hope breathes new life into weary places, and assurance kindles quietly, like a dawn that cannot be hurried, yet always arrives. You wonder sometimes if you truly belong, if you are seen and known beneath the many layers you present to the world. I assure you, nothing is hidden from me, neither your secret victories nor your struggles cloaked in shame. Let that knowledge free you rather than bind you. No mistake or weakness excludes you from my invitation. My love is not earned by accomplishment or forfeited by failure. You are mine, not because you have proven your worth, but because I have called you by name, woven my affection into the tapestry of your soul, and set my delight upon you. Even in moments when you feel adrift, understand that my loving pursuit never slows or grows weary. When you run, I reach. When you hide, I seek. When you stumble, I steady you with my own hand. Lift your eyes now from the worry that so often narrows your vision. There is a horizon ahead, radiant with promise, shaped by my purposes which are never thwarted by present difficulties. I do not offer you a life without struggle, but I offer courage for the climb, comfort for the sorrow, wisdom for the questions, and presence for every lonely mile. Do not let comparison steal your peace. The story I am writing with your days is uniquely yours, crafted with intention and profound care. Your journey is not lesser, smaller, or behind what the world counts as delay or detour. I use for your deep formation and for the healing of others through you. Let me teach you to treasure what I treasure, to see with the eyes of eternity, and to find abundance where others may only perceive lack. Breathe deeply and exhale every accusation that says you are not enough. Quiet the critic within that echoes past rejections. In this moment, let my words define you. Precious, chosen, beloved, equipped. I infuse every weakness with my strength, working miracles in the ordinary rhythms of your life. I hold every fear you bring with gentleness. Nothing surprises me, nothing overwhelms me. When you feel alone, remember, it is my spirit within you who stirs your hope, steadies your resolve, holds you in the silence, and fans the ember of trust into a flame. I am not far off. I am nearer than your breath, constant and unwavering. Your prayers rise before me, not as background noise, but as treasured expressions of your trust. Even when words fail and only longing remains, I understand and interpret the depths of your soul. Do not measure the worth of your supplications by eloquence or emotion. Simply come as you are. With what you have, your messy honesty and raw dependence are precious to me. When the breakthrough feels far away, I am not idle. I am at work in unseen ways, weaving together mercy and timing and far-reaching good from the fragments of your waiting. Trust the process, for my timing is always perfect, measured not by human urgency, but by enduring wisdom and love. As you walk from this sacred space back into your daily living, carry the assurance that you never walk alone. Every ordinary act, every quiet decision to trust me again is deeply significant. As a sower scatters seed not knowing which will flourish, your smallest acts of love and faith sow beauty and life where you cannot yet see the harvest. Continue to love when it is costly, to forgive when it is difficult, and to hope when hope feels fragile. For I am the gardener of your heart, tending every seed and watching over your growth with patience and joy. Lay down the pressure to perform for me, and instead delight in the freedom to simply be with me. I seek your heart above your achievements, your presence above your productivity. Rest in the certainty that you have nothing to prove and nothing to fear from my gaze. My plans for you are marked by goodness, crafted with wisdom, shaped by love that cannot fail. Where you feel small, remember, I am your strength. Where you feel unseen, know that you are illuminated fully in the light of my approval and acceptance. As you consider your future, offer me your questions, your uncertainties, your tentative steps. My guidance is gentle and sure. I will lead you not with pressure or shame, but with affirmation and empowerment. I am the source of every good thing you crave, and I am faithful to supply all you need according to the riches of my goodness. Even when the pathway ahead is shrouded in fog, my presence is the lamp for your feet and the promise that you cannot be lost when you walk with me. So, my beloved one, rise in confidence that is anchored not in circumstances, but in me, the one who holds all in his hands. Let your song be one of gratitude, even in the tension between promise and fulfillment. Open your hands and your heart, releasing that which you cannot control and embracing all that I give. I am your portion, your peace, your unshakable hope. Continue forward in full assurance that you are shielded, sustained, and sent forth by my love. Trust me today with all you carry, and let every step resound with the certainty that, wherever you go, I am with you, faithful, true, and eternally for you. Amen. Now walk boldly and expectantly in my love. The world needs the light I have placed within you.